Lifesaver.
This is Karen sucking her thumb, and this is her brother trying to get her to stop.
Cut it out, Karen. Here, suck a Lifesaver instead.
'Cause their great flavor has been around for years and years.
Go ahead, it's cherry. A lot better tasting than your thumb.
Lifesavers, a part of Lifesaver.
Scream the Wicked Witch. Mommy's mouth's awful dry.
Have a Lifesaver candy, Mom.
Their great flavor has been around for years.
Hey, cherry. No, wait, banana.
It's both, Mom. It's wild flavors. What about the witch?
You read it to Mommy.
Mouth's awful dry.
Lifesavers, a part
So
of
the Wicked Witch.
Little Hershey's Kisses have big, big chocolate. Little Hershey's Kisses have big, big chocolate. Little Kisses have big chocolate. You're gonna love. Kisses come in silver, red and green. All dressed up for the holiday scene. Little Kisses have big chocolate. You're gonna love.
The Incredible Hulk. This man is searching for the cure to a raging force dwelling within him. Bill Bixby as Dr. David Banner. Lou Ferrigno as the Incredible Hulk. Together, a powerful combination for justice.
The Incredible Hulk, today at 9 on Channel 46.
Watch me trick Fred out of his pebbles. Santa! Merry Christmas! Got some fruity pebbles for old St. Nick? Sure! Ho, ho, ho! I've been a good boy. Santa! Ho, ho! Merry Christmas, Fred and Barney. Barney, my pebbles! Careful, Fred. Santa's watching. Ho, ho, ho.
Happy holidays from Post Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles cereal, part of this nutritious breakfast.
Hey, what time is it? It's holiday time and Podcast
That's right. It's Pod Blast time. This is your weird and fun, hopefully fun, nostalgia show with a bite. How are you? How are you? How are you? How's your weather out there? I hope your weather's okay. Been a lot of strange weather going on. I don't want to date the show, but I'll just say happy holidays early, everybody, depending on when you're consuming this edition of the Nostalgic Pod Blast. I'm Chance Bartels, your host, no relation to Chance the Rapper. As Steve Harvey says when he hosts Family Feud, we've got a good one for you today. And I think I do, just based on the clips that I've assembled for us all tonight. This is our nostalgic assembly. Oh, what a day. What a day. Are you getting ready? Are you getting ready for your holiday celebration, for gift giving and good cheer? I hope so. So what's on the agenda tonight? Well, we're going to finally get back to remembering the great game show MCs of all time who are no longer with us, because we lost one not too long ago, Mr. Chuck Woolery. And we'll talk about him in just a moment. And I found some great video and some songs that he sang. I'm going to attempt to play right here on the Pod Blast. Now, if you want to call in or talk about anything nostalgic, the phone number old school is 770-438-1050, or simply leave a comment. Those that are watching live in the chat area of the Facebook chat or the YouTube live chat, and I'll read your comment and put it on the screen. We're also going to play some 1970s trivia for prizes later. Some Topps cards, vintage mint Topps cards. That's the standard prize I always give at this stage of the show. Once I get more sponsorships and the show grows and expands as I plan to do, I'll give away some bigger and better prizes. But these are not bad prizes. These are prizes from 1978 and 1989, respectively. So they have a little bit of value. And plus, they're cool. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Now, quick disclaimer. I got to get back to my disclaimer. In terms of the video and audio clips I'll present to you tonight, I do not represent the owners of this material or any of its entities. This is a live, educational, interactive lecture about pop culture history for fellow fans of the genres that we cover tonight, in which I earn no proceeds in any way from those clips. I do not own any of the musical clips or movie clips. No rights are given or were implied, and I encourage everyone to purchase official releases of this material or simply stream it and subscribe to the platform that is currently streaming this material where applicable, as I have done. All these clips that I'm going to show you tonight were found on YouTube from other fan unofficial channels. And none of these were taken from actual DVDs or Blu-rays or 4K releases of any of these programs, songs, or films. So just wanted to say that. But first, we've got to get back to this. Let me show you the photo that I had. And unfortunately, we've got to add the late, great Chuck Woolery to this picture of the lost game show host. We've covered many of these, almost half of the game show hosts you see here. Now, listeners, if you want to see what I'm showing, I'll do my best to audibly describe it. If you're listening at SoundCloud or TuneIn or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Fistful of Radio out of Atlanta, which you can stream by going to fistfulofradio.com every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time, and then Monday night and Wednesday night. That's where you can find the Nostalgic Pod Blast on that audio platform. But it's so easy to find the video feed. It's in the Facebook group, the Nostalgic Pod Blast, the group, not the page. The group has got like almost 7,000 members or so, and I'm very grateful to each and every person in that group. Or on YouTube. And the easiest way to find the YouTube channel is to do a Google search of the Nostalgic with a C Pod Blast. And towards the top of page 1 of your Google search, you'll see the Nostalgic Pod Blast YouTube. Click that, then click the live tab, and you'll see a thumbnail image of Chuck Woolery hosting Greed and Love Connection and some of his other shows. There's 3 pictures of Chuck Woolery. Anyway, let's get started with the show. So we're talking about Chuck Woolery, and I have some great video to show you about him. Here's a nice picture of Chuck that I found. If I can pull that up really quickly. This is the thumbnail image. Now, it doesn't help the listeners, but that's the thumbnail image I'm referring to. There's 3 images of Chuck Woolery. Okay. We're also later going to play Soul Survivor, where I name a classic television show where there's one surviving cast member and you try to guess who it is. And then we have some people to honor that passed away. We're talking about Chuck Woolery right now. There he is on a show called Tattletales, which is kind of like a talk show more than a game show, hosted by Bert Convy, you see in the center of the photograph on the screen. And he's with Alan Ludden and the love of his life, Betty White. And then you see Chuck Woolery to the left of Alan Ludden with one of his wives, Joanne Flug, who was born in Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm located, in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. And then to the right, do you know who that is? To the right of Alan Ludden, this is before just before One Day at a Time started. That's Pat Harrington Jr., Schneider, future Schneider, the super, in One Day at a Time, one of the great Norman Lear sitcoms, which starred Valerie Bertinelli in the cast. And there's his wife. So Chuck Woolery, there's a picture of Chuck on his wedding day with Joanne Flug of Atlanta, Georgia. And she was in the first MASH movie, and she appeared on Match Game quite a bit. We'll talk about her a little bit later on. But let's get to the story of Charles Herbert Woolery. He was born on March 16th, 1941. He hosted so many great game shows. He was the host of many game shows. He also was an actor and a musician. And he had long-running tenures hosting several game shows. Chuck Woolery was the original host of the original NBC daytime Wheel of Fortune from 1975 until 1981. And I'll show you his last appearance as the host of Wheel of Fortune from 1981 in just a moment. He also was in the original incarnation of Love Connection, 2 and 2. We'll be back in 2 and 2. One of his catchphrases. And he hosted Scrabble, the game show, from 1984 until 1990. And also he came back to Scrabble in 1993 for a brief revival of that game show. It's on now. It's not very good. And I like the current host. She was one of the little kids on the Cosby Show, Little Simone. She hosted, what's her name? Little Simone. And hang on, I'll get to the chat in just a second. Simone on the Cosby Show. And she also had a funny show actually on the Disney Channel. Raven. That's So Raven. Okay, Raven Simone. That's her name, isn't it right? Yeah, Raven. It just came into my little feeble brain, her name. And she hosts the current Scrabble, and she's just not very good as the host. Like, when I watched it, I gave it 2 opportunities, 2 chances. No pun intended. That's my first name, Chance. Chance Bartell's your humble host. But I thought she just did a lousy job because she kept saying it might not be her fault. It might be the teleprompter prompting her to say this. But she says several times very awkwardly, you could win $10,000. And she says that just in the opening 5 minutes, maybe 6 times. It's like, okay, I heard you. We got it. You've repeated yourself 5 times now. It's 10 grand. Okay, at stake. Anyway, but getting back to Chuck Woolery, he also hosted Greed on the Fox television network from 1999 until the year 2000. Team Coco, Conan O'Brien reference there. Ha, ha, ha. He also hosted Lingo, an original game show on the Game Show Network from 2002 until 2007. Chuck Woolery's musical career includes several advertising jingles and a top 40 pop hit with the psychedelic pop duo, the Avant-Garde. Also, and I meant to pull this clip, darn it, I forgot. He was on the first, I think one of the years, I want to say 1972, of New Zoo Review, which is like a children's show. Anyone that's in Gen X like me probably remembers that show. But he also did some country music songs, which I will play in just a little while. Bot and God Willing. So Charles Herbert Woolery was born in Ashland, Kentucky on March 16th, 1941, the son of Catherine, a homemaker, and Dan Woolery, who owned a fountain supplies company. After high school, Chuck Woolery served 2 years in the U.S. Army aboard the USS Enterprise. Dun, 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 dun. The USS Enterprise, CVN-65. In 1963, Chuck Woolery worked as a wine consultant for Wasserstrom Wine and Import Company in Columbus, Ohio. Not Columbus, Georgia, where I am. Columbus, Ohio. Remember in Tommy Boy? I love Tommy Boy. I'm thinking of where he screwed up and shipped a package to Columbus, Georgia instead of Columbus, Ohio, and got in trouble. That's a great, if you're a salesperson like I am, that is a great sales movie, Tommy Boy. Oh, man. I just love Chris Farley. And David Spade. They were a good combo in those movies, those few movies they did together. All right, so let's talk a little bit about his music. In the early 1960s, Chuck Woolery sang and played the double bass with a folk song trio called the Bordermen. He also sang in a duo called the Avant-Garde, who were in the psychedelic pop genre, like Strawberry Alarm Clock and those type of bands. Way out, man, way out. The other half of the duo was Bubba Fowler. They signed a contract with Columbia Records, and they did have a top 40 hit with Naturally Stoned in 1968, bringing the duo to one-hit wonder status. It reached number 30 in Canada on October 20th, 1968. As a solo artist, Chuck Woolery released 5 records with Columbia Records, and after 1970, Chuck Woolery signed with RCA and released Forgive My Heart in 1971. Another single, Love Me, failed to make any impact, and then he turned to acting. In the late 1970s, Chuck Woolery returned to his singing career. Woolery charted on Hot Country Songs with the song Painted Lady and The Greatest Love Affair between 1977 and 1980, respectively. Chuck Woolery recorded for Warner Brothers Records and Epic Records as a solo artist with 2 low-charting singles on the Hot Country Songs charts. Chuck Woolery also co-wrote The Joys of Being a Woman on Tammy Wynette's 1971 album titled We Sure Can Love Each Other. As an actor, Chuck Woolery appeared with Stephen Boyd, Rosie Greer, the football legend turned actor, and Cheryl Ladd in the mid-1970s film titled The Treasure of Jamaica Reef. Chuck Woolery performed as Mr. Dingle on the children's television series The New Zoo Review in the early 1970s. And during that time, he made his first game show appearance on an episode of Tattletales in 1974, alongside his then newlywed new wife, Joanne Flug, from Atlanta, Georgia. Starting as a singer, Chuck Woolery appeared on an episode of Your Hit Parade. On January 6, 1975, Chuck Woolery began hosting Wheel of Fortune at the suggestion of creator of Wheel of Fortune, Merv Griffin, who had seen Woolery sing on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. Chuck Woolery hosted the show, Wheel of Fortune, for 6 years, and in 1978, he was nominated for a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Host or Hostess in a Game or Audience Participation Show. In 1981, Chuck Woolery was involved in a salary dispute with the program's producers. He said in a 2007 interview that he demanded a raise from $65,000 a year, not per show. Pat Sajak got close to that per show before he retired. He wanted a raise from $65,000 a year to about $500,000 a year because the program was drawing a 44 viewership share in the Nielsen ratings at the time. And other hosts, such as Richard Dawson hosting Family Feud and Bob Barker hosting The Price is Right, were making that much money that he was asking for. So Merv Griffin offered Woolery $400,000 a year, and NBC offered to pay the additional $100,000. But after Merv Griffin threatened to move the program to CBS, NBC withdrew the offer. Woolery's contract was not renewed, and his final episode of Wheel of Fortune aired on Christmas Day, 1981. That's December 25th, 1981. And Pat Sajak, of course, replaced him. Let's look at some footage of, and I'll get to the comments of Chuck Woolery on Wheel of Fortune. Now, a lot of these clips disappeared that I was trying to search for. There were funny clips of him doing the final spin. Remember, the host would do the final spin when they're running out of time, and it landed on the bankrupt. It was just bankrupt with Chuck Woolery, and it's been scrubbed for the internet, or I guess the channel set it to private, or the channel got in trouble or something. But let's look at a couple clips here of Chuck Woolery. And you'll hear him in his own words talking about the salary dispute that he had with NBC and Merv Griffin. Let's see here. All right, now this is kind of cool. This is a clip from a contestant. It's only 1 minute and 14 seconds long, where he was on as a contestant. Yeah.
The round 5 will have $2,000 on it. We're going to take a look. I want to see where everybody is right now. Craig's got, what, $4,400 already? So he's on top. Dan, you just pulled out $800 worth. Ian, you have $1,050. So you're all doing pretty well. Craig's way up above everybody. What are you going to do with your winnings? What are you going to do, Craig?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
You have no idea?
Have a good time.
I'm sure you will. How about you, Dan?
I'm going to have a brain transplant.
Have a brain transplant. Good. I have a surgeon in mind for you, Dan. It's a close friend of mine. Yes, his name's Dr. Rippey.
Vito.
Great guy, Dr. Rippey. He's terrific.
Oh, I know. I saw him back at the studio out in the alley.
He's out there sharpening up. The home's ready for him, I know. How about you? What are you gonna do?
All right, now here's another clip, 2 minutes, 13 seconds long, of Chuck on the last day he hosted Wheel of Fortune in 1981, Christmas Day.
And since it is, Susan, I would like to say...
And by the way, the video quality is pretty rotten. The audio quality isn't bad for the listeners, but hey, I'm sorry, that's all there is. So I'm so sorry, but not sorry, because it is what it is about the visual quality. Let's watch.
And since it is, Susan, I would like to say first to you that I really appreciate all of your support, all of your help. You've been a confidant. Most of all, you've been a lady over the past 7 years and a very important one in my life, and I really appreciate it very much. Thank you for that. To all the people here, if I can just run down people who come to mind: Jeff Goldstein, our director, a very special man. Dave Williger from the beginning, who was with me. John Reinhardt, who first produced the show. Nancy Jones, who produces the show now. Charlie O'Donnell, who is our original announcer and a wonderful man. Jack Clark, thank you so much. Merv Griffin, Murray Schwartz, NBC, thank you for 7 of the greatest years of my life. I'd really appreciate it. And folks, I just want to say to you, I've never lied to you. And I really haven't over 7 years, and I'm not going to start now. It's one of the most difficult things I've ever done, leaving this show. I've appreciated your support. I love you all very much, and I just pray that God will bless you in the new year to come every day. And thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas. And now, here's your new host, Pat Sajak.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack Clark. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Wheel of Fortune. Please do not adjust your sets at home. Chuck Woolery has not shrunk. A lot of people are playing with a vertical hold right now. As Jack mentioned, my name is Pat Sajak, and I've been fortunate enough to wander onto the set of a very successful program, has been for a long time. One of the big reasons for that success, of course, was Chuck Woolery. Most of you know by now, Chuck has decided to leave the show to concentrate on other areas in his career. He's a very talented actor and singer and songwriter. So I want to take a minute, and I know everyone in the studio does, and all his fans around the country, to wish Chuck nothing but the best for future success and happiness. Chuck, this is for you. And now, I'd like to announce that I'm leaving the show. No, just... one of the things that hasn't changed is every day I get the pleasure of looking to my right and saying, ladies and gentlemen, here's Susan Stafford. Susan!
Of course, Susan Stafford will be replaced by Vanna White, who is still hosting Wheel of Fortune alongside Ryan Seacrest, who's also from the Atlanta, Georgia area. So let's see. Here is Chuck, 23-second clip explaining why he left Wheel of Fortune. We know the reason, but here's Chuck's talking about that in his own words.
But my question is for Chuck.
Yep.
I was also on Wheel of Fortune when you were on. I thought you were great. I want to know why you left.
Oh gosh. I left basically because of money. My contract was up after 7 years, and I felt like they didn't pay me enough, and I made them an offer that they could refuse, and guess what?
All right. So let's get back to the story of Chuck Woolery's life. Yeah, I talked about the new Zoo review, Tattletales, and where did I leave off? Yeah, okay. Of course, shortly, not long at all after he left Wheel of Fortune, Chuck Woolery hosted Love Connection from 1983 until 1994. It's a nice long run of 11 years. He also hosted The Big Spin in 1985, Scrabble from 1984 to 1990, then again in 1993, as I mentioned earlier tonight. And then he also did a show, Home and Family, that I liked okay, a little talk show on the Family Channel from 1996 until 1998. He was a co-host. And then he also hosted a revival of The Dating Game from 1997 to 1999, and then Greed from 1999 until the year 2000 on Fox. He did a show called The Ultimate Fan Search for TV Land Cable Network from 1999 until 2000, and then Lingo from 2002 to 2007 on the Game Show Network, as I mentioned previously. In addition, he was the subject of a short-lived reality television show, Chuck Woolery Naturally Stoned, originally titled Chuck Woolery Behind the Lingo in 2003. He also hosted his own talk show, The Chuck Woolery Show, which lasted only a few months in 1991. And he hosted The Price is Right Live at Harrah's Entertainment Casinos and appeared in the live stage show, $250,000 game show spectacular at the Westgate Las Vegas Casino until April of 2008. I want to now play some funny clips from Love Connection of some dates that went wrong. What did you like? I'm going to ask the chat, and I'll put some comments up while this is playing. Did you like the dates that went well or the dates that did not go well? What were your favorites to watch on Love Connection, if you watch Love Connection at all? This is a nice clip, 7 minutes long, so I can do some housekeeping and get to the comments and put them on the screen and see who's out there watching live. You know, let me do what I normally do before I do that. And I got a couple of movie reviews from JT tonight that are pretty darn good. JT, he's our movie critic on the Nostalgic Pod Blast staff. Really appreciate him. But now let's say hey to everyone out there watching live.
You have a good day today, friends. Yeah. I did.
I had a Superman day.
You had a Superman day. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Spider-Man day.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, you know what? Wait. You know what time it is? Time for me to see the friends at home in the magic mirror. Romper bumper, stomper boo, tell me, do. Magic mirror, tell me today, did all my friends have fun at play? All my friends had fun today. I see David's having a special day today, and Olivia Joy had a special day on Sunday. I see Robin had a special day yesterday, and Dana's having a special day today, and so is Reginald and Edward John and Margaret, and I see Justin and Megan and Courtney and Brick and Mark and Rachel and Sheila and Caroline are all having special days, and Cicely and Ashley and Matthew and Jose, and I see Bonnie and Anthony and Joe had special days yesterday, and so did Tammy and Brandon and Gregory, and of course, friends, you know I see you, and I'll see you again.
Romper Room. Hey to Joe Gutfeld in New York State watching on Facebook Live. Hello to Brandon Mitchell. Hello to My Flock is Everywhere. She gave me a super sticker. Isn't that sweet? Let me see where I can put that on the screen. I don't know if I can, but that is so nice. That is so nice. It cost her a couple bucks. Hello to Tracy's Fractured History and More, watching in the great state of Florida. Hello to, I don't know where John Orchard is, but I'm glad he's here. I know he's watching the Pod Blast, so hey to you. And let's see. I'm just scrolling along here. There's the, look at that. Isn't that nice? Oh, Tracy gave me a super sticker. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Tracy. I'm going to buy something sweet and I'll think of you. That's very kind. Thank you for doing that. And so did Sarah. Oh my gosh. Where's Sarah's? I got to put hers on the screen. All right. Let me, hello to Basil Chesterman. I'll win that. That's Tom Williams of the Weather Channel. He's watching live, and this should be in HD for the first time. I'm always trying to improve the Pod Blast, this show, the Nostalgic Pod Blast, technically and with content, and advance it and grow it. And so this should be, thanks to StreamYard, an upgrade with StreamYard in HD, full HD, 1080p, high definition. I don't know. I'll have to review the tape or the show later in the replay just to see how the clips looked. I don't like to watch myself. I think that's worse than, you know what I'm saying? It's worse than really pleasuring yourself. I just think it's so lame. I don't like to watch myself. I don't think it's just not appropriate. Joe Gutfeld asked or said the funniest clip was when Chuck Woolery asked a Jewish contestant on Scrabble what he got for Christmas. I don't remember that. Ooh, that was awkward. Yeah. I always say holidays, you know, when you're dealing with the general public for sure, or someone you don't know. Snark and Sass is here from the state of Arkansas saying, Schneider, lucky he didn't end up a game show host. Never mind. There's my Flock super sticker. Thank you. Thank you to you and Tracy for sending those. I really appreciate that. That helps me keep going. You know, that inspires me to keep getting back on a weekly track on Friday night. It really does. I appreciate it. If you care enough to do that, to part with a couple bucks, then I'll try to produce the best show I can for you. Thank you. Yeah, Raven Simone. That's the host of the current Scrabble. Correct. And I really think she's very talented. She was funny as heck on that Disney show. That's So Raven. I mean, really. I mean, she could do characters. Great show. Hello to Esmeralda. Raven is a great name. Yes, it is. Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe thought so, right? Esmeralda in Washington State. Right? I always get you left Oregon, went to Washington, right? Or do I have it backwards? No, I think I'm right. You're in Washington State. Correct. Yeah. Let's see here. Continue on and we'll get back to the program and the clips from Love Connection. I just don't want to neglect anyone watching live. It's Friday night. You could be going to a party. You could be going to a movie. You could be watching or streaming a more entertaining show than this. But I appreciate you being here. What does Chance sell? Must be something without a D in its name. She's referring to the fact that the computer that I use, one of my computers does not have a D key because I type really hard on the keyboard and the D key flew off. So I have to literally copy and paste the letter D. So it's pretty lame. I just need to upgrade my computer or get, and you know what? I broke it's a laptop, and you know the little sensor where you use your finger as a mouse. I had to get a remote mouse because I broke that too from pressing too hard on it, or I got it wet with my hand spray. By the way, anyone that knows me, I know Al knows this, Al Hardy. Because of COVID, I became kind of not a germaphobe, but I have rubbing alcohol in a little spray bottle, and I left it behind at work the other day, and I've had that thing forever. I replaced it, but I don't know. I guess I'm kind of OCD. I don't feel right without my little spray bottle. I left it behind this week. And what I sell comic books on the side. I have sold advertising on radio and in print and online on websites. I'm just a natural born sales. I've sold bottled water. If you can sell water, you can sell anything. And this was in 1990, started in 1997 at the Crystal Springs Bottled Water Company. I have not had tap water for the most part since, except for ice. You know, when you're on the go and you get a drink, I'm sure that ice is from tap water. But anyway, and I rinse with tap water when I brush, which has fluoride in it because spring water has no fluoride, right? All right, so Danny Staten's out there in South Carolina. He says, greetings from South Carolina. He actually just said greetings. He left off the South Carolina part. Well, I'll add it back in there for you, buddy. Hey to you. Snarky says, yeah, Chuck Woolery wasn't going to be a musical success. He already had devastating good looks. It's just not allowed. Okay. Just get caught up with the comments and I'll get on with that clip from Love Connection. I always thought he seemed like a fun guy too. Yeah. I mean, and he's a Southern guy from Kentucky. That's kind of cool, I guess, since I'm in Atlanta. Snarky said, probably because Love Connection was such a hip, new kind of 80s thing. Yeah, it was. And the audience got to pick the date. They would watch videos like a video dating service, but on a game show, right? And they could pick 1, 2, or 3. And that was kind of cool. That was always the cliffhanger. I hated it when you had to wait to see who the person picked. They wouldn't do that every other show. Oh, we're out of time. We'll have to reveal who he chose next time on Love Connection. You know, that was like the big cliffhanger. Omar Montgomery's watching on Facebook Live, and he says, Merry Christmas, Chance, you and your family. Well, back at you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Omar. You're so kind. Thank you. And same to you and yours. Yeah, hello all, said Danny Staten. And I'm sorry, listeners. I know this like stops the show, but I've got to acknowledge everybody who took the time out of their busy Friday night to pop in and say, hey. All right, so I think I have gotten to most of the comments. I see a lot of hellos. I don't put those on the screen. Not to be a jerk, just because I don't think anyone listening would or watching, would be interested in that. Now, Sarky says, I ended up going to beauty school, y'all. It was just wrong. Sarah in Southern California says, sweet, Chance. No, you're sweet. Then thanks again for that super sticker. That's pretty dang cool. Snarky says, I see Sarah and Esmeralda and Tracy and Chance and Danny. I guess that's when the clip from Romper Room was playing. Yeah. Family always, said Esmeralda. Chance, take a chance on me, says Snark and Sass. Family show. Did I cuss? All right, let's see. No, thank you, Chance. You make things epic and fun. Thank you, Sarah. I don't know about that, but you're going to make my head get even more swelled than it already is. I have a big ego. I'm kidding. Thank you. I thought this was a party. All right, we're going to get to the party. Hang on. And I got to get to the trivia. I don't want to go all night. We've already gone 35 minutes and I haven't really scratched the surface of what I prepared for this week's show. Chance is doing Danny's voice. I always do, in a brotherly way. It's not, hey, Jake Hudson, how you doing, man? I have got to tune into more. He has some really funny after work sesh videos on YouTube. Jake Hudson, how you doing, man? Good to see you. You didn't cuss. Good. I'm doing okay. How are you? It's Friday. I'm doing fine. It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. Okay, I think I'm caught up. I'm doing okay, says Jake Hudson. So now, and I hope you like the little Christmas commercials I played for food. That's one of my nostalgic treats of the week were in one of those commercials I played, but we'll get to that later on. All right, so getting back to Chuck Woolery, let's play the Love Connection Bad Date. This is a really, really bad date on Love Connection. 7-minute clip. Let's watch it together.
Started out by me giving her a phone call, and I guess I realized pretty quickly we weren't going to have anything in common.
Really?
I like women who are deep, and she just didn't seem like a deep kind of person. She seemed more like the kind of, woman who probably knows all the colors of lipstick but couldn't tell you who the Vice President of the United States was.
Really? Well, what's your side of this phone conversation, Robin?
Well, I thought he had a monotone voice, he was whiny, and he sounded very boring, and that's how he turned out to be.
So what happened?
Okay, she's kind of half living in San Francisco, half living in San Diego right now, and I'm in San Diego, so you'll have to ask her about that. But she suggested I come up to San Francisco for the weekend. At least the trip will be interesting.
So you arrive at the airport, and is she there to meet you?
She's there to pick me up.
And what was your first impression of her?
I guess I was a little disappointed. In her video, she looked cute, but she looked a little bit older in person than her real age. She did have a good body, though. I will give her credit for that. Although I really do have to say, it's a shame she doesn't work out a little less on her body and a little more on her mind.
You don't deserve to know my mind.
Well, Robin, what did you think?
When I saw him, I thought he was so fine, and he was just gorgeous, the man of my dreams. Not...
So here you are in the airport, and you're deciding to do what?
Well, she had already kind of planned out the whole date.
She had?
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice for her.
And step number one
were you appreciative of that, or were you still kind of thinking, I wish I was out with this?
For your hotel, too.
What did you say?
I said, tell him who paid for your hotel.
Robin paid for the hotel. I will give her credit for that.
What do you mean, give her credit? She paid for your hotel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me, just a minute. Why?
Oh, I just thought I wanted him to stay next to... We went to a nightclub called Harry Denton's, which is one of the classiest nightclubs in San Francisco, and there's a hotel attached to it. I thought it would be a really nice experience, and
Gee, I can't believe that you weren't more than just giving her credit, that you weren't really impressed and appreciative of that.
No, I was appreciative, and I thought that was very nice.
You never said thank you.
What? I said thank you several times.
And when he
Robin.
called me from the hotel, he billed it to the room on my credit card.
I called from the phone in the room. I did not ask to bill it to the credit card.
But you used your credit card.
From the room?
Why didn't you? Yeah, your calling card. Don't you have one?
You told me to call you from the room the next morning.
Did I say to bill it to me?
I didn't think about that. I just used the phone that was in the room. I'd be glad to pay you back for the phone call, since that seems very important to you.
So, well, let me ask you a question. So you left and went straight to the straight to the hotel and then to the club.
No, we actually went out to dinner. She had picked the restaurant. She seemed fascinated by the fact that this restaurant had light fixtures that looked like breasts.
That was why you wanted to go
No.
there.
You suggested the restaurant. You told me it had light fixtures that looked like breasts. And you seemed to think that was a good idea. But the bottom line is the light fixtures didn't look like breasts, so it really doesn't matter.
And you were disappointed.
Sorry, Chuck.
So now, what happened after
Beautiful
dinner?
restaurant. Very good food.
Did you enjoy the food in the restaurant?
Oh, the food was good. You know, conversation went nowhere. We had nothing in common, but the food was good.
Thank
Again,
God I
give
don't
her-
have anything in common with you.
So what happened after dinner?
For some reason, she decided to take me to a wedding reception. I don't know. Maybe she felt
You
like
wanted
since we
to
weren't going to
go.
go. You asked me if I wanted to go, and I was trying to
it's
be
at Treasure
polite
Island.
by saying yes.
If you wanted to see Treasure Island, we could stop by. It's
There's
beautiful.
nothing on Treasure
There are
Island to
beautiful
see. It's
views
a
of
military
San
base.
Francisco.
You asked me to go to the wedding reception, and I tried to be polite by agreeing, but then you showed me off like an animal in a zoo, introducing me at each
I didn't
table
show you
as,
off.
"Hi, this is Kurt, my love connection date. Hi, this is Kurt, my love connection
Is this
date."
true, Robin? I mean, you know, if it was, it was.
It's true. Part of it's true. I was not showing him off. I was making sure everyone knew that I didn't choose this guy.
You know, I gotta tell you something, Kurt. As unsophisticated or unintelligent as you think this woman is, she seems to have a razor edge to her mind to me. How did this date end?
She chose not to use it on the date. When we went to a bar, she was wearing a very low-cut dress. She did ask me if she should wear a sexy dress, and I said yes, but this was really low-cut. I would say inappropriately
It was
so.
not low-cut.
All the other people in the bar were very classily dressed. As she says, it was a classy bar, and so all the male eyes, I noticed, were on one place, and it wasn't on, you know, her face.
It was a very classy dress. It was not low cut. It was just.
There was a lot hanging out there, Robin.
Oh, how did this date end?
Well, you know, it was going nowhere, so, you know, the hotel was
no
just...
kidding. I mean...
The hotel was right next to the bar, so, you know, I went to bed, and, you know, she came and picked me up and took me to the airport the next day, and that's really all there was to it.
Well, there was a little bit more.
What's that, Robin?
Okay.
Well, if I have to describe Kurt, the one word I could not use would be gentleman. He was a slob. He threw away a yogurt container in my car. He stuffed it in between the door and the seat, and it got yogurt all over my car. Kurt.
Get yogurt all over your car.
It did, and when
Robin,
I
I
was cleaning
spent
it up, he
more
didn't
than $200 on that trip. That's a lot more than you spent, so I wouldn't complain
I
about
had
me
to get
being
myself down there, too.
I got to get out of this. I just got to. Let's take a look and see the audience pick. This was a disaster. Oh. Oh, boy, they thought you made the right choice. They liked Robin.
Well, they were sure wrong, Chuck.
Well, Robin, gee, you know, you've come all the way down here from San Francisco and spent more money. I certainly appreciate you coming on the show. You seem like a nice person to me.
Thank you. I had a great time. I loved it.
Sorry we didn't make a love connection for you.
That's okay.
Sure like to see you under different circumstances,
Well,
though,
thanks.
but
I'd
thank
like
you.
to be back.
Okay, and Kurt, we
Thanks
tried.
for having me, Chuck.
We tried.
I had a good
Hang
time.
on right there, and
Okay.
we'll be right back with another couple. Stay with us.
Dun, 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 dun. Wow, that was definitely no love connection there. Brutal. That was the funny thing about that show. That was before the internet, folks. And I thought they took the dating game to a whole nother level with Love Connection. Let's watch one other clip. This will be the last Love Connection clip. This is a little, not as long as that one, but it's pretty damn funny. It's about 6 minutes long. Let's look at this now. Love Connection from 1980 something. I think 1985. 1985.
Born in Yonkers, New York, loves to sing both in and out of the shower. She wants men to know that she really isn't what she appears to be. Please welcome Shoshana Leeser. Hi, Shoshana. How are you? Fine, have a seat. And they voted for which one they thought would be best for. We're going to take a look at all three men again, catch you up today. First, there was Perry. He was born in Philadelphia. He now lives in San Francisco.
That comes naturally. I don't plan much that I'm going to say with them. But something happens, I see I can relate to something and make a joke out of it. And I feel that humor fits almost everywhere. You can even make jokes in the bedroom. In fact, a lot of the women I go out with laugh in there.
Ian was raised on Long Island, and he enjoys reading and riding bicycles. And then Steve likes surfing and Sunday breakfast.
Cut his hair with a weed eater.
Okay, now the audience vote was recorded yesterday. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But now Shoshana is going to tell us who she chose.
I chose Perry.
Chose Perry.
Like there was a big choice.
Perry's backstage. Let's say hello to Perry Kurtz. Hi, Perry.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
Warren,
Hi, Shosh.
Why don't you tell us about the date before we get carried away here?
First, it was great finding out he lived in San Francisco, 500 miles away.
Well, at least you know you're geographically compatible. What?
530 miles away.
So we set up a date, and he was supposed to pick me up at 2 o'clock. And here's 2:30 and 3 o'clock. He's an hour late.
Oh,
I did not know what
530 miles. I mean, you got to give the guy a break. How come you didn't call since you were going to be late anyway?
Well, I drove down from San Francisco on my motorcycle, which was not an easy ride.
On a motorcycle?
Well, I'm a Mako guy. I can handle it.
Oh, can you pronounce it? Well, anyway, you drove down on your motorcycle. What happened?
So I drove down, and I go to the address, and I had the right address, but evidently I had the wrong apartment number. So I jumped on the bike, and as I was pulling away, some guy comes running out and says, "Hey, are you looking for Shoshana?"
Oh, come on. Are you serious?
Really?
Really?
Who'd you think he was?
I thought he was her boyfriend coming out to kick my butt.
Poor guy.
Well, who was this guy, anyway?
Yeah, tell him who he was. Why don't you?
Come on, you've heard of Three's Company. Give me a break.
What'd you think of her in person after 530 miles and frustration?
Well, I thought she was pretty cute. I was really impressed. She looked good. She sounded sweet. And she described herself to me. She said that she was, on the phone, she said she was kind of busty. And I said, well, you know, I can handle that.
Here's the big one. Listen up.
We got off to a great start. Well, we went to the hotel. Oh, not the hotel.
Thank you.
The restaurant.
So you went to the restaurant?
We went to the restaurant, and I got us lost going out there, of course. But all for dinner, in between the nice, serious conversation, he kept making comments about my bust and my body and what he'd like to do with it, and I kept blushing.
He did?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious, and I'm going, oh, please, you
Was
know.
he being a little forward, you figure? I mean...
Well, it was just a joke. Actually, I was being forward. I was joking around. You know, I like to push a woman to see how far she'll go before she starts pushing back. I like to see if she's got a strong will, and she does, and she didn't take it, and she said, shut your mouth or I'll hurt you.
I'll break your face.
Use those words.
It was something similar to that, but I asked her if she really would, and she said no.
How'd this date end?
Well, we walked around Seaport Village afterwards. It was foggy, and it was kind of romantic. We sat on a bench and talked and cuddled a little bit, and...
A little bit?
A lot bit. And he kissed me.
The seals were applauding.
The seals were applauding?
So we had a nice goodnight kiss, and talked about wanting to see each other again, and...
And what? Where'd he go? Off
Well,
into the night?
I was supposed to find him a place to stay, and I sort of fell down on the job, so I just directed him towards Hotel Strip, and he was on his own.
Yeah, it's like, have a nice time, sailor. See you next time.
Let's take a look and see who the audience picked for you, he said. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm glad of this. I really am. Perry got it, 42%.
Another big shocker.
Audience advice, be happy to pay for the date. If not, you're on your own. What are you going to do?
Absolutely, I want to.
How about it, Perry?
All right, let's boogie.
Come on out.
Notice the chest toupee. Chuck, look out. Watch out for a foot. Look out.
Sit down before you hurt yourself, will you? Come out here and strain your back like that.
I knew I shouldn't trust him out here.
The seals were applauding. I'll never forget that line.
It was when one stood up and yelled, "Next!"
Thank you both for coming on the show. Will you please keep in touch?
Oh, we will.
I bet we never hear from you again. Anyway, thank you. We have a nice gift for both of you. Thanks again. We're going to come right back with another couple. Stay with us.
Oh, now I didn't watch all that clip. I didn't know there was going to be these comments being interjected, but whatever. So that's all I got to say about Love Connection. As we remember Chuck Woolery, we're going to move on to some other topics in just a moment. I want to play some of his music here in just a sec. But on April 21st, 2023, it was announced that Chuck Woolery would be featured in an upcoming 4-episode documentary by ABC News titled The Game Show, which I watched. That was actually a really good documentary on game shows by ABC News. And it covered the history of game shows in America over the last 8 decades. The 4-part documentary premiered on May 10th, 2023. And Chuck Woolery later hosted the 1980s Quiz Show, a game show based on trends and norms of the 1980s, which streamed on Fox Nation on June 7th, 2024, which is a streaming service. From 2012 to 2014, Chuck Woolery hosted a nationally syndicated radio commentary show, Save Us, Chuck Woolery, which grew out of his YouTube videos. In 2014, the show became a long-format podcast and was retitled Blunt Force Truth. However, before his death, the show could still be heard on about 60 radio stations across the USA. With co-host Mark Young, Chuck Woolery expanded on his conservative political ideals and current events, often inviting guest experts to join the conversation. So let's see. There's some political stuff. I'm going to skip. Let's see. Like some comments he made about the CDC. He was on Twitter. Now it's called X, of course, but when it was Twitter, he was on there quite a bit. And I noticed some of his spelling would be off. Chuck Woolery wasn't the best speller in the world. I'm not judging based on lack of proper spelling, but I did notice some of his grammar would be kind of messed up when he was tweeting. Maybe he didn't have his glasses on or something, to give him credit for that. Give him some credit for that. Let's see. All right. And his Twitter account will be made private, then public, then private, then public, over the course of the rest of his life. In terms of his faith, Chuck Woolery was a Christian who volunteered in ministry. He was married 5 times and was the father of 5 children. Woolery and his first wife, Margaret Hayes, had 2 children together, Catherine and Chad. But Chad was killed in a motorcycle accident in January 1986. In 1972, he married actress Joanne Flug from the movie MASH, talked about that earlier, and they had a daughter, Melissa, together. But they divorced in 1980. With third wife named Terry Nelson, who was the adopted daughter of actor David Nelson and granddaughter of the Ozzie and Harriet Nelson family of Ozzie and Harriet Nelson. He had 2 sons, Michael and Sean. In 2006, he married Kim Barnes, not Kim Carnes, Betty Davis eyes Kim Carnes, but Kim Barnes with a B. At the time of his death, it was reported that he was married to a woman named Kristen. In Chuck Woolery's later years, he lived in Horseshoe Bay, Texas, and died at home on November 23rd, 2024. That was a Saturday at the age of 83. Now let's listen to some of his music. But yeah, the first role that I see was the New Zoo Review as Mr. Dingle. 1972, Mr. Dingle the Strong. That was a Twilight Zone episode title of the original Twilight Zone. And also Dingle, obviously it's not Dingleberry, it's nothing to do with that nasty compilation of the use of the word dingle. But he played Mr. Dingle on a kid show. New Zoo Review. It had an owl. Man, I meant to find that clip. I'll try to remember to do that before the end of the show and play a clip, if I can find it, of Chuck Woolery as Mr. Dingle on New Zoo Review. In 1973, he acted in the anthology Love American Style, which used to be on Friday night on ABC, along with the Partridge Family and Room 222 and the Brady Bunch. And he did one segment in 73 titled Love and the Cozy Comrade. So he probably played a Russian or something. I've not seen it. In 1973, he performed the role of Superman on ABC Saturday morning cartoons in 1973 for a full preview special titled Sneak Peek. He was Superman, Kal-El from Krypton, the planet Krypton. In 1974, let's see, he did a short film titled Sonic Boom. I already talked about the Treasure of Jamaica Reef from 1975. He played a tennis pro in a TV film in 1978 titled A Guide for the Married Woman. All right, let me just get to something interesting. Oh, yeah, and I forgot he was in the movie Six Pack, which was shot here in the state of Georgia in 1981, released in 1982. He played a TV commentator number 2 in Six Pack. Kenny Rogers, that was a good movie. I like Six Pack. I forgot all about that movie. I'm going to have to see if it's in the public domain. Maybe we can do a watch party to watch Six Pack together. He played himself a couple times in the NBC sitcom 227 in 1989. And then in 1989 on a show called Cold Feet, he played himself as the host of Love Connection. In 1997 in Hey, Hey, It's the Monkees, he played a cameo as Chuck, a nightclub owner. And then he was in Scrubs as himself in 2004 in season 4, episode 6 of that program, Scrubs, that sitcom. And then in terms of the television and radio aspect to his career, I already mentioned this. He hosted Wheel of Fortune from its inception in 1975, early 75 until Christmas Day, 1981, being replaced by Pat Sajak. Then he hosted Love Connection from 83 to 84, Scrabble from 84 to 90, and then in 93. I know I've already said that. The Chuck Woolery Show, his talk show, lasted for only 65 episodes in 1991. And then he was the co-host with Christina Ferrari on Home and Family on the ABC. It became ABC Family, and now that whole brand has been scrubbed. But it was on the Family Channel. It's called the Family Channel. When he hosted the Home and Family, co-hosted the Home and Family Show from 1996 to 1998. He did the Dating Game Revival from 97 to 99. Greed on Fox 99 to 2000. 44 episodes of that show. And then the TV Land Ultimate Fan Search from 99 to 2000. And let's see, Lingo 2002 to 07. I know I said that, but people tune in late. He was the host rather of Think Like a Cat in 2008. And he, of course, did the radio show for a couple of years from 2012 to 2014. Radio show titled Save Us, Chuck Woolery. And then he was a co-host with Mark Young on Blunt Force Truth, which is a podcast for 10 years from 2014 to 2024 until his death. And then he was in the game show on ABC TV, the game show documentary I just talked about. And then he hosted the 1980s quiz show in 2024, his last hosting gig. Now the songs. In 1977, he had 2 country songs. One was titled Painted Lady, and it hit number 78 on the Hot Country Songs charts. And then he did a song, Take Her Down, Boys, which never charted. And then in 1980, he had a song titled The Greatest Love Affair, which charted in 94th place on the Hot Country Songs charts. All right, so let's listen to 2 of those 3 songs. I think I can, as I hate to say get away, I feel like I'm committing a crime. I'm not trying to. I just want to present this to you. Here is one of Chuck's songs. Oh, it's at the very bottom of my videos, right? Yeah, here we go. Here's Painted Lady. This song, when I heard a little bit of it, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It's bad. Just not that bad. But let's listen to the late, great Chuck Woolery singing Painted Lady, released in 1977. It's 2 minutes, 25 seconds long. That was weird. It just shut off. Ooh, maybe that's a good thing. You got the gist of it. I'll try to play it again. I don't know why it shut off like that. That's bizarre.
Painted lady, desert island in the night, scarlet woman, would you shed a little light on this man that's drowned in here, in this sea of tears and loneliness? Stay with me tonight, scarlet woman. Would you hold a stranger tight, painted lady? Would you love away this pain inside of me? Sitting in the dim light of some dark and dingy bar, a sea of whiskey rolling through my brain. I ask myself, this is all I really came here for. But the answer to my question just came walking through the door. Painted lady, desert island in the night, scarlet woman, would you shed a little light on this man that's drowned in here, in this sea of tears and loneliness? Stay with me tonight, scarlet woman. Would you hold a stranger tight, painted lady? Would you love away this pain inside of me? Painted lady, desert island in the night, scarlet woman. Would you shed a little light on this man that's drowned in here, in the sea of tears and loneliness?
So what does painted lady mean? Is that a nice way of saying the lady's wearing too much makeup? Painted lady. What does that mean, ladies in the chat? That's what I interpret it to mean. Painted lady. If you think that was bad, and I didn't think it was all that bad. It wasn't all that bad, as I said before I played it. Oh, it means a hooker, says Snark and Sass in Arkansas State. Oh, my. Yeah, because they would wear... I sound like I know from experience. I know from watching movies, even going back to The Fugitive season 1 finale, where Gerard couldn't stand the perfume on this hooker, this streetwalker, and she had all this makeup on. Oh, what was that episode 30? What was the title of that? The Fugitive. In case it used to be streaming on Pluto TV, the first 2 seasons of The Fugitive. Hang on, I've got to figure out, because there's a funny as heck scene with Lieutenant Gerard and a streetwalker, and he's like, he can't stand all the perfume she's wearing. Hang on, let me look it up. Oh God! And John MacGyver was in it, and that Fielding guy who was in everything. Hang on, let me find that. Where the hell is it? Yeah, it's The End Game, season 1 of The Fugitive, April 21st, 1964. And the guy was in it who played Jack the Ripper in Star Trek. That Weasel, the bald actor, Fielding, right? Isn't that his name? Let me look this up. This is going to drive me up the wall. The Fugitive Endgame. Let me get that cast. I'm digressing. I know, pod blasting to another dimension beyond the topic at hand of Chuck Woolery, but hang on. I got to get his name right. He was in everything. Endgame. The Fugitive Endgame. God dang it. Gosh dang it. All right, here it is. I got to go to IMDb. He had kind of a Weasley voice. John MacGyver was in it, who was Martin Lane's boss in season 1 of the Patty Duke Show, and in the pilot, the unaired and the aired version. John Fielder. Yeah, I was right. Fielder. John Fielder. He's in that Fugitive episode. A streetwalker was played by Martine Bartlett. Martine Bartlett, streetwalker, it says. And she's wearing all that perfume. Let me see what else she did. That's a funny ass scene. I wish I could play it for you. Well, the last thing she did, the lady that played the streetwalker, was a Remington Steele episode in 1983, playing Millicent. She probably passed away, unfortunately. All right. Anyway, I got to get back on track. All right. So, Painted Lady. Hello, Tracy. Welcome back. Welcome back. It does look like it's in HD. So StreamYard honored their commitment to me to upgrade to high definition. So that's awesome. That's good. So you can see the stuff, not me in HD. Me in HD is kind of a nightmare. All right. Let me get back to the topic at hand. We got some birthdays to get to, some important ones in pop culture history. I was going to play another song. This one's not quite as long, or is it longer? Let me look at the song. The next song, The Greatest Love. I won't play this whole thing. It's longer. It's 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. Let me just play a little bit of it because I think the bots will let me do this since this song never even charted.
I dreamed I woke up and you were gone. I reached out, but no one was there. I called your name and nobody answered. And I wondered if I cried, would you care? I prayed in my dream to go back to sleep and just wake up with you by my side. Then I wondered if I'd ever get over you. And for the first time in a long time, I cried. I said I love you so many times before. But they're just words that you hear a lot of people say. You see, I just never knew how much I really loved you. And then suddenly, you'd gone away. Now who'd stand by me the way you did? 'Cause when I was weak, you were always strong. You had a
Tracy, that's a good one.
Touching my heart.
She says, I prefer William Shatner singing to this.
Beautiful song. Ah, we had good times. And we shared the bad. So, I'll take whatever comes. 'Cause you were the best years of my life.
He sure has some white teeth.
We shared the cake. And we shared the crumbs. Then, just before the hurt built up in my heart, to a mountain I thought I'd never climb.
I'm gonna shoot myself in a minute.
I woke up. I woke up to a beautiful world. You were there. You were there all the time. I love you, America. I love you, America. If I sail stormy seas, please be there to shelter me. I love you, America. I love you, America. So just keep holding me close, and I won't care. we'll show the world that what we share is still the greatest love affair. And I love you, America. I love you.
Wow. Whew. Yes, I agree. I think William Shatner's version of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds blows that away. No doubt. Yeah, that's a wrap on that, says Sarah in Southern California. Yeah, that's the last song I'll play. I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but that's definitely not going to be played in any rallies. That's for sure. Jeez. Oof. His teeth were so white, though, in that picture. Tracy says his teeth could call ships at night, at nighttime. Wait a minute. Tracy says about Chuck Woolery's white teeth in that picture. It was on the screen. His teeth could call ships at nighttime, because they were so white. Judgment Day, Mike Harper's in the house. How you doing, brother? Thanks for being here. My brain is bleeding now, says Sarah, Southern California Sarah. My Flock is everywhere on YouTube. Please subscribe to her channel if you haven't already. It's a lot of fun. And people saying hey to each other. Okay, so I guess that's all I've got to say about Chuck, but I want to talk briefly about his wife, Joanne Flug. And I'll put her picture up. She was so pretty. She's from Atlanta, Georgia. I know I mentioned that earlier. Yeah, it's right here. Here's their wedding day photo. Then we got to get to some birthdays and some other stuff. By the way, I hope you like some of the uploads. I uploaded some really cool exclusive stuff lately. There's the wedding picture with Joanne Flug, one of his 5 wives. But who was Kristen, right? There's a 6th mystery woman, reportedly. When he passed, he was involved with a woman named Kristen. Same name of the character who shot JR. That was Sue Ellen's younger sister. But that's fiction. This is reality we're talking about. But she was just lovely. I liked her on Match Game, the early Match Game episodes, which air on Buzzer and on the Game Show Network, GSN. Some of the early ones, she was pretty witty. Now, Joanne Flug. So Joanne Flug, that's what I was going to talk about. Joanne Flug. There they are together there, too, on Tattletales. Let's see. I'll leave that up. Well, I just tell you, Joanne Flug was born to Jaylyn and Kelly Flug. She was raised, though, in Winter Park, Florida, while her father was elected mayor in 1958, and she graduated from Winter Park High School in Florida. Flug attended Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida, and then transferred to the University of Miami, where she received her bachelor's degree in broadcasting and her minor in American history. I thought she was born in Atlanta. Hang on a minute now. Okay. While at the University of Miami, Joanne Flug hosted a weekly radio show called The Magic Carpet, where she was the storyteller. Following that, for 4 years, she hosted a weekly live interview talk show called Montage. Her background in interviewing led her to be the first woman to have a live weekly TV talk show in the late 1960s in Los Angeles on KHJ TV Channel 9. And how could I forget? I loved Candid Camera. I'm sure that'll come up here in this report about her life with Alan Funt. Her first screen credit was in Cyborg 2087, which was released in 1966. Danny Staten, you're probably not out there anymore. You're probably watching your Friday Night Wrestling, but is that something you're familiar with, or anyone that's watching live? Please comment. I'm not familiar with Cyborg 2087, the year 2087, which was released way back in 1966. But she was also the voice of the Invisible Girl in the 1967 animated version of the Fantastic Four, the cartoon show. By the way, the movie wrapped in England. The live-action MCU Fantastic Four will be here before you know it. They've wrapped principal photography. Now it goes to the post-production phases of special effects and music scores and all that good stuff and editing. Now, Joanne Flug's major role was as U.S. Army nurse Lieutenant Maria Dish-Schneider in the 1970 film MASH. That's what someone commented about Schneider that threw me for a loop earlier. Also in 1970, she starred in the To Carry the Sun in a Golden Cup episode of Marcus Welby, MD, in which she played an ailing nurse. She also appeared in Catlow in 1971 with Yul Brynner. And she was in Where Does It Hurt, starring my favorite, Peter Sellers. And she played Lieutenant Catherine O'Hara in the television spinoff of Operation Petticoat in the year 1979. Joanne Flug co-starred in the made-for-television movie The Night Strangler in 1973, which was a sequel to the movie The Night Stalker from 1972, starring Darren McGavin, which was a precursor to the TV series Kolchak, The Night Stalker, which lasted for one full television season in the 1974 to 1975 television season. Joanne Flug also starred in the TV werewolf movie Scream of the Wolf in 1974 alongside Peter Graves. Ever seen a grown man naked from Airplane? Remember the pilot in Airplane? And it also starred Clint Walker in Scream of the Wolf. Ever been to a Turkish prison? All right. Joanne Flug was a frequent panelist. And of course, Peter Graves was in Mission Impossible from season 2 until the very end. He replaced he was a man who quit for religious convictions. Stephen Hill was the actor who played the head of the IMF Impossible Missions Force in season 1 of Mission Impossible with Martin Landau and Barbara Bain and Peter Lupus and Greg Morris. But Stephen Hill quit. He wanted to study Judaism, and he quit the show based on religious reasons. And then Peter Graves became the new leader of the Impossible Mission Force. That's a good one. I got to write that down. Impossible. I'm going to use that in the little comedy script. Impossible Missions Force. Okay, so Joanne Flug was also a frequent panelist on the television game show Match Game from 1973 until 1981, and she was a co-host, like I said, with Alan Funt on the 1970s version of Candid Camera. And so was another Match Game regular, Fanny Flagg. Fanny Flagg, who had a small role in Grease as a nurse. Her role got cut down to nothing. But I digress. But I remember her. She had great chemistry, Joanne Flug did with Alan Funt. And I loved that version. It was in color, of course. I watched that all the time as a kid. You're on Candid Camera. And she was a regular in the TV series The Fall Guy for the first season, 1981 to 1982 season. And the funny thing is, they could not keep the actor playing the bail bondsperson that Colt Seavers worked for, because in the unaired pilot, which I have on film, it was the great Scream Queen's mother from Holiday Affair, Janet Leigh. She played the bail bondswoman Soapy, who Colt worked for. And then Joanne Flug replaced Soapy when the series was picked up by ABC for the fall of 1981. They hired Joanne Flug and not Psycho Shower Girl, Janet Leigh. And then what happened was Joanne Flug quit Fall Guy, and Marky Post replaced, in a different character, but still a bail bondswoman that Colt and Howie and Jody worked for. And then she quit, Marky Post, at the end of season 4 of The Fall Guy to do Night Court. And then you had another actress come in, a comedic bail bondsperson, Pearl. And Pearl, let's see here, was played by Ned Revolves. And then she left in the middle of season 5, and you had this guy, Edward Trench, played by Donner. Remember Donner? He played Exodore and Mork and Mindy, that actor. Robert Donner, he played a bail bonds, a cheap, like a Scrooge type character that Colt and Jody and Howie worked for. And then he got replaced. So it was like a revolving door of actors that played the bail bondsperson, going back to the pilot, the unaired version anyway, which I got a studio print, a 20th Century Fox studio print. No one has released it. No one's seen it. And it doesn't have Lee Major singing the Unknown Stuntman theme song in that version. I put that on my YouTube channel, one of them, my YouTube channels. I need to put on Nostalgic Podcast. I put it on Chance Acting Demo, the theme song not sung by Lee Majors from that unaired pilot. but I need to get it converted before the print goes bad, because there's some rare scenes, alternate takes, different takes, cut scenes, and all that stuff with Janet Leigh. Okay, so where did I leave off? Okay, Fall Guy. All right. So in 1984, Joanne Flug was the first actress to play Taylor Chapin in the syndicated soap opera titled Rituals. And I know, Tracy, if you're still out there, you're a big soap opera fan. Did you ever watch Rituals when you were a little girl? And Joanne Flug made guest appearances on McCloud, The Love Boat, Chips, The Dukes of Hazzard, One Day at a Time, Knight Rider, Love American Style, Adam 12, Quincy, Me, Elias Smith and Jones, Charlie's Angels, and The Colbys. Later roles for Joanne Flug include boss Jack's wife in Traveler in 1997, and she was Cynthia Vaughn in Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, released in 1997. In 2011, she interviewed Pat Boone, as did our friend Curtis Landclow of RetroZest at RetroZest.com. We'll talk about him later. He just dropped a brand new episode celebrating the 45th anniversary of Star Trek The Motion Picture. And you can find it in the archives of fistfulofradio.com under RetroZest, or on his website, RetroZest.com. And he did a great 1-hour interview with Pat Boone himself. Anyway, Joanne Flug interviewed Pat Boone, Shirley MacLaine, and other celebrities for the Joanne Flug Show on Seaview Radio. Seaview, like the ship in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the 1961 movie by 20th Century Fox, and the television show. The super sub was called The Seaview in the Irwin Allen movie and series. So as you can see there, that is the 1972 photo on the screen. Joanne Flug married Chuck Woolery in 72 at the Knowles Memorial Chapel at Rollins College in Orlando, Florida. And they had a daughter, Melissa, and the couple divorced in 1980. And then she married Charles Stuck Young in 1988. Now, I thought she was from Atlanta. So I knew she grew up in Florida, but I thought she moved to Atlanta or was born in Atlanta, and then her family moved to Florida. Let me just quickly verify that, because I read that in books like British Annuals about Fall Guy Season 1 and other publications. So I don't know. Yeah, it says she was born in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank gosh I was right about something. She was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but she went to high school and college in Florida. Okay, there you go. Winter Park. All right. So I cleared that up. Good. I can live with myself again for now anyway. All right. Oh, let me change my camera shot. By the way, behind me, you'll see Superman the movie. Let me change the camera shot. It's going to be an anniversary of the release of Superman the movie starring Christopher Reeve on December 15th. Or was. You might be checking out the replay, and it's already happened. But I love this nice DC Comics 1978 Giant from 1978 covering the making of Superman the movie and other stuff. It's just a really cool publication. I have 2 of them. I should give one of them away. I've got this one. This is in near mint condition, and I have one that's not bad but not as good. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do something about. I already did a big blowout for Superman the movie last year. Whoa, there goes Brainbender's Banter's sticker. Hang on. Oh God, tough shot there. Let me get her sticker back up there. There. Brainbender's Banter YouTube channel. Is there a hum? Hang on. Whenever I move around, it creates a hum in my audio. Yeah, I don't really hear a hum. Sarah, you'd let me know. You can text me. I got my phone in here if you hear an audio goof up. Okay, so let's see where we're at with the show. So rest in peace to Chuck Woolery, and we will resume talking about other great deceased game show MCs like Bob Barker and others that we've not talked about yet very soon. So I'm glad to get back to that topic because I love game shows. I'm a big game show head. Let me see here. Excuse me. And don't forget, Joanne Flug was Lieutenant Dish. I didn't mention that yet. That was the colloquialism for her character, Lieutenant Dish, in the MASH movie. And then I had one on film where she played a stewardess. Let me see where that is. I sold that print. It was like an R-rated comedy in the early 1970s. Hang on. I got to look that up. Let me look up her filmography, Joanne Flug, ex-wife of Chuck Woolery. That's why we're talking about her. And she had a nice Southern accent, or has. She has a nice Southern accent. God, I didn't want that. Hang on a second, y'all. I want IMDb. I can't even remember the name. It was so unforgettable. It had Rick Lenz in it. And that's why I sold it, because I didn't like this guy. He played the Bionic Woman's boyfriend in The Return of the Bionic Woman, a doctor that cryogenically brought her back from the dead in the season 3 premiere of the Bionic Woman, a Return of the Bionic Woman. And I just thought he was a dud of an actor, kind of like, he'll probably disagree with me. David Duchovny, I think, is the most boring, bland actor. He just looks like a putz. I don't even like watching him. I think he's so boring. And that's what this Rick Lenz guy was kind of like too, I think. And I think he appeared in one season 2 episode of the Bionic Woman. He wasn't in it very much. He was in it a few times after the Return of the Bionic Woman, which was a $6 Million Man episode. But he starred in this movie. What the heck was that movie? Let me look back here. It was in 1972. And I only bought it because Joanne was in it. And that wasn't enough for me to keep it. I sold that print because Rick Lenz just ruined the movie. Hang on. Oh, and she also appeared in Laugh-In a couple times as a guest performer. Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, Joanne Flug. It's a movie. It takes place on a plane, an airplane. All right, I can't stop the show looking. I thought it would be right there, because when I see it, I'll recognize the name of that movie. But I think it's cool she voiced Susan Storm Richards in the Fantastic Four cartoon in 1967. Damn. Maybe it's Where Does It Hurt? Where Does It Hurt? Let me look that up. I should look up Richard Lenz. I'd find that quicker. That's the one with Peter Sellers. Yeah, that's it. Rick Lenz. I forgot. God, it was so bad I blocked it out of my conscious memory. But Harold Gould was in it. I like Harold Gould. He's a character actor I need to feature. You saw him on Golden Girls, and he's done a ton of stuff. Harold Gould, Invaders. But things more notable than that, way more notable than that. But to me, I remember Harold Gould a couple times in The Invaders playing different characters. He had really notable parts in that movie. That's it. Okay, and Pat Morita was in it too, but it was really bad. Where Does It Hurt? I didn't like it. Let me look up Rick Lenz 1 second. Sorry, folks, this is so bad. Because I want to make sure maybe they did more than one movie. It still doesn't seem right to me that was the movie. I thought she was a stewardess or something. God darn it. Let me look here. Is Rick Lenz still alive? I wish I had a picture to throw up. Yeah, he's still alive. That's good. I don't want the man to be dead. That's for sure. I just don't want to watch him. Let's see here. It's Where Does It Hurt? Where Does It Hurt? And let me see Joanne Flug's character name. Alice Gilligan. Okay. Gilligan, you. All right. So there's that. We're going to move on. And I want to talk about another person that passed away that I liked, and we'll get to the trivia. Just found out today this man passed away, an actor, Tom Christopher, best known for Geeks Like Me as playing Hawk in season 2 of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. He just died. At least it was announced that he died on December the 5th, yesterday, 2024. I hate to date the show by mentioning dates, but let me just give you, this won't be long. I just have just a couple sentences that I wrote earlier to say about him. He also did soap operas, but I just thought that was a pretty notable role. Let me see here. Oh, go to the other page. And you know who played his woman was Barbara Luna, who was in a classic Star Trek episode, Mirror Mirror, where she played the captain's woman. And she was in a real good Invader. She drugged David Vincent. Oh, I got to show you something too. Speaking of Roy Thinnis and the Invaders and David Vincent, but she was in a great episode of the Invaders titled Storm in season 1, Barbara Luna, which was filmed the season before she did her classic stint in Star Trek as Marlena Moreau, a yeoman, the captain's woman. So rest in peace to actor Tom Christopher, and he spelled it Thom. He passed away at the age of 84. He was born in Jackson Heights in Queens, New York on Saturday, October 5th, 1940. And as you can see in that picture, it's on the screen. It's a Starlog magazine from my collection. He portrayed Hawk in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century show's second and final season. He filmed his stuff in 1980. That season was for the 1980 to 1981 television season. And they took the whole show in another direction, sending them out into deep space like Star Trek to explore strange new worlds when they should have remained on Earth. And they got rid of Dr. Hewer. And for a while, they got rid of Mel Blanc. Mel Blanc voicing, "Hey, you look," Twiggy, the robot. And it sounded so lame, the new voice. No disrespect to the voice artist. It just wasn't the same. But then they brought Mel Blanc back later that second season, but it was too little too late. The damage was done. People tuned out. They said this show has gone to SHIT, and they moved on, and the show was canceled. And today someone commented, why is it that Battlestar Galactica didn't get a second season? And don't tell me that Galactica 1980 counts as a second season and Buck Rogers did. And I said, different networks, NBC, different executives, different budgets, different goals. They were the ones that greenlit Buck for a second season. Battlestar Galactica was on ABC, and ABC made the decision to cancel Galactica based on cost. And ABC was number one. They had hit shows. They could do another sitcom like a Three's Company and get as good a ratings or close to the ratings of a Battlestar Galactica for a fraction of the cost. So that's the reason why it wasn't a Glenn A. Larson decision. It was a network decision. They were on rival networks. So there you go. That's the reason. So rest in peace to Tom. Now, let me see what else I have for you now. I found a cool picture here of, and I put it on the social media outfits of the Nostalgic Pod Blast, but I love this photo of Patty. Actually, it's Kathy Lane. It's Patty Anna Marie Duke playing Kathy Lane. And there's Rita McLaughlin, who was her photo double. And I wish I could find this Nick at Night promo where they were interviewing the back of Patty Duke's head. It was a comedic bit, a promo for the Patty Duke Show from 1988 on Nick at Night, when they were just starting to brand Nick at Night from Nickelodeon and branch it out and have classic TV at night and then the kids programming during the day on Nickelodeon. But that's what she looked like. And sometimes in the early episodes, you'd see they'd mess up a camera shot and you'd see a little bit of her face, a little too much of Rita's face if you looked really closely, especially with the DVDs. But it's never been released in HD. I don't even think it's streaming anywhere. It's an MGM UA show, so I think that would probably mean, if Al Hardy were here, he could tell me for sure if Amazon Prime owns it, because they bought the MGM library. I don't know. Okay, so moving along, I want to also mention that I have put some exclusive content on the Nostalgic Pod Blast YouTube channel. Listeners, you might want to check it out. There's a crossover episode of The Fall Guy. It's not been seen since 1983. It aired on Thursday, September 29th, 1983, the day after part 1 of a Fall Guy episode, season 3, episode 2, Trauma. And it's one of the few times that was a serious Fall Guy plot where Howie is about to die. He's in a terrible crash. He might be paralyzed. He has neurological damage. He has to, be operated on by a team of specialists and surgeons. And it's a really good story. And it gave Doug Barr the opportunity to do some serious acting. And it also introduced his mother, played by Patricia Crowley. And I interviewed Doug Barr right here on the Nostalgic Pod Blast in 2022. I asked him about it, asked if he'd seen the scenes with his character's mother. He goes, no, I didn't even know they did that. I said, yeah, because you probably didn't watch it. It was an episode of Trauma Center, a show that lasted 13 episodes, but it only aired for 10 weeks. ABC pulled the plug on Trauma Center, and 3 episodes remained unaired. And I have a bunch of them on 16 millimeter film. And what this is on YouTube is from an actual recording from Thursday, September 29th, 1983 on VHS. There's a few commercial plugs in there for Hotel. That was another good show that I wish would return, not as a reboot or a remake, but the original series. Hotel was a good ABC show. And there's a promo, like a little Easter egg for you towards the beginning of the video for Hotel and for the Dynasty season premiere and other stuff. And that's what this is. And this is actually my VHS tape case. I know it's primitive. This is from, give me a break, this is 25 years ago, early Photoshop. It looks like crap, I admit. But that was the show. And Wendy Malick was in the cast of Trauma Center long before Just Shoot Me and Hot in Cleveland. She was very youthful. She's probably 31 years old or so when this was filmed for 20th Century Fox. And Lou Ferrigno was in the cast of Trauma Center. Not too long after The Incredible Hulk was canceled, he played John Six. a paramedic and ambulance driver and a strongman, and he really came in handy. They had a lot of gags in there, pretty violent gags, like Emergency did about 10 years before, 5 years before, because that lasted a long time on NBC. Emergency, it was like that. And of course, now you've had for years, ER, Grey's Anatomy, Chicago Hope, better shows than Trauma Center. But Trauma Center was not like a Fall Guy. It wasn't cheesy. It was very serious. Talk about the golden hour. You have 1 hour to get a patient squared away at a hospital. That's their golden hour to live if they've had a traumatic accident or an event. And one of the ones I have on film, there's a great scene with a lightning strike on a golf course where all these guys get, oh man, I mean, it's pretty violent. And one kid is like blinded and all sorts of terrible things happen. And in this episode, which is now on my YouTube channel, a woman shoots her husband in the heart with an arrow in an archery accident. A drunk driving woman knocks a van of 3 college students off the road. And then like there's a calamity at a nightclub, and there's all sorts of good actors in this. James Naughton was one of the stars. You'd recognize a lot of familiar faces. So I recommend that, listeners. Go to my YouTube channel, The Nostalgic Podblast, and you'll see the Fall Guy crossover Trauma Center. And you'll see an image of the Fall Guy cast on the left and the Trauma Center cast on the right. I've also been continuing the Space Giants on my channel, which is a Japanese show. I won't go on. I've already done a whole long 3-hour The Story of Space Giants stream, live stream earlier. But Space Giants was made in Japan from 1966 to 1967, 52 half-hour episodes. I'm releasing them. I'm trying to go in order. I went ahead into early January 1967. I'm trying to go in order of the real calendar date, but I don't like to leave people hanging because 4 episodes constituted a 2-hour storyline, but without commercials, more like 90 minutes. But there were about 25 minutes without commercials, and 4 episodes was a story. And there's 13 different stories of the Space Giants. So I just concluded uploading as live the 7th of 13 stories. And they were the Christmas stories. And the Christmas episode, one of the wildest Christmas episodes I've ever seen, where Rodak, the villain from space, is trying to conquer the earth, murders. This scene was cut for American audiences. A preacher giving a sermon on Christmas Eve, chokes him to death right there in front of everybody, causes a panic. And there's drive-by shootings in it by the bad guys, obviously. I mean, crazy stuff. And that was cut from American audiences as well. I found it on a Japanese laser disc, and I must apologize. The visual quality is certainly lacking. They have released the Space Giants in Japan on Blu-ray, I think in 2016, but it costs $1,000 with import fees. I've been waiting for the price to come down or to buddy up with someone that has them. We can collaborate and I'll upgrade the visual quality, but the visual quality is not horrible. It's just sometimes I had to use 2 VCRs. I edited these 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. And I just had primitive technology to work with and Laserdisc, but I found most of the English tracks I could find. The English dubbings come from tapes from WTBS Superstation 17 from 1977 to 1981 when it ran. It ran starting in late 77 until 1981. And for afternoon TV viewing of elementary and middle school kids, pretty much elementary, school children. That's an elementary type show, but there's a lot of violence in that show. You'll see a lot of stuff that never aired on TBS or anywhere else. It was also in syndication in other markets. I know people in Philadelphia mentioned they watched it on their local affiliates. Some people in Boston watched it on their Boston stations. Not everyone watched it on TBS. I'm in Atlanta. I watched it on TBS, Rabbit Ears, and also on cable because our family got cable, by like 1980 or something. But it was local to me. But I love it. It's the original Power Rangers and Transformers all rolled into one, and a little Godzilla thrown in. You got a monster that looked like Rodan. Good stuff. I love it. And I hope you do too. And again, the visual quality, I apologize. The audio is great, but the video quality is not the best. Admittedly, some are better than others. And I even did a 16 millimeter film print, which had faded color, but the audio was fantastic in it for the Christmas episode. The first episode 25 of 52 of Space Giants is the true Christmas episode of that show. All right. Now, let's move along. I just had to plug some of my things I'm uploading to my YouTube channel, exclusive things. And someone had put the upgraded Space Giants episodes with the HD restored, and then they went away. I don't know, because they're in the public domain. At least the English versions are. Japanese are not, but the English versions are. And I don't know what happened, if that channel went away or if they set the videos to private. That's the thing about YouTube. There's been so many videos I've featured on this show that I can't find anymore. General Hospital clips from the Ice Princess, John Colicos storyline from 1981, the best year of General Hospital's history. But, you know, it's funny, you know, I'm glad I preserved at least the audio of that. That was before I had StreamYard, so I could only play the audio clips of the General Hospital stuff. But some of that dialogue was so sharp in General Hospital back then. So I mentioned Roy Thinnis. I got this from BK on the Air. He had shared that from another place he found it. I think an Invaders group is what it was, and I joined that group. I didn't even know about this Invaders fan group. It was a series that was on ABC pretty much in 1967. It was a winter replacement in the middle of the 66-67 season, so it debuted on January 10th, 1967 on ABC, and then it lasted for 43 episodes. There was a resolution. The 41st aired episode resolved the whole conflict of the Earth. It was a QM product of the Earth being invaded by murderous aliens from a dying planet. And see, I love stories and shows about invasions of the Earth or sci-fi in general. I'm a geek. I love that. So I love this show. It was before my time, before I was born, but it's a Quinn Martin show. So it's of the high quality of a Fugitive or something like that. Or even a Barnaby Jones, a show I thought would be lame as hell. Now, that's 86-year-old Roy Thinnis, taken recently with that book, Invaders, 1967, Roy Thinnis. And that's the name of the Facebook group. So BK on the Air, that's a radio show out of Cartersville, Georgia, every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to noon, 2-hour show weekly. It's Eastern time. And Barry King is the host. And he posted that. So I snagged that from his Facebook page, BK on the Air. So I thought that looked pretty cool. Let's see what else. And also I want to promote my buddy at RetroZest, retrozest.com. Check out their website. They have merchandise. It's a fantastic audio only show. There's no video, but that's okay. He gets really cool guests. Maren Jensen from Battlestar Galactica, who played Athena. She was like the prototype to Angelina Jolie, if you will. But he just interviewed this gentleman from Star Trek, the motion picture. He wasn't in it long. He had a nice principal role in the beginning. He bit the dust early, but he was going to be in Star Trek Phase 2. I don't want to give away too much of what Curtis Lanclow talked about with him, but he was going to be in a Star Trek revival. And then Star Wars came out, and then all of a sudden, Paramount says, we got to do a movie. We got to do a movie. You know, we've got to cash in on this. People, space is in right now. Even James Bond is going to space, into outer space of Moonraker. We got to jump on this train. And they did, and the rest is history. It made like $100 million, I want to say, in profit, Star Trek the motion picture. A lot of people crap on it and say it's boring. But that's what the executive said about The Cage, the first pilot to Star Trek with the Telosians, who had mental telepathy powers, which became a two-parter, The Menagerie, in season 1 of original Star Trek. But so check it out. It just dropped today. It's its 150th episode. It's RetroZest. retrozest.com, Curtis Lanclow, and he's in Georgia as well. He's in I'm not going to give out his address, but he's in Dawsonville, Georgia, which is a big racing town. If you know anything about NASCAR, I know Danny State knows all about Dawsonville and NASCAR. Okay, let's get to another feature I like to do once a week, and there's a whole bunch of comments I got to get to. Let me see if I can play a clip so I can take a little breaky break. There's a whole bunch of other pictures I want to show you, but I don't want to go out of order. Let me get to my clips. Sorry, listeners. I'm sorry to stumble here. Apologize. When I pause to breathe, it seems like an eternity. I guess I'll play this 36-second clip. I didn't really play. I hate to go back to Chuck Woolery, but it's very brief. A news report about the passing of Chuck Woolery. I know that's in our rearview mirror. It was back in November 2024. But let's look at 36 seconds of this from an ABC affiliate.
Here's your host, Chuck Woolery. Thank you, Charlie O'Donnell. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wheel of Fortune.
Breaking news out of Hollywood tonight. Legendary game show host Chuck Woolery passed away this evening at his home in Texas with his wife by his side. That was confirmed by a close friend. Woolery was actually the original host of Wheel of Fortune, earning a daytime Emmy in 1978, but he would come to his biggest fame as the matchmaker on the show Love Connection. He continued to make appearances on TV shows over the years, also had a music career. Woolery is also survived by his wife and several children. Chuck Woolery was 83.
I'm sure a lot of you that are not interested in the Chuck Woolery part of the show were like, why do you do that? Look, in less than a minute, that's all you had to do. That's all you had to do was just say what they said, leave it at that, and move on to some other nostalgic talk or something else that impacts my life a little bit better. I hear you. But I do want to play this. This is 1 minute and 56 seconds long, just under 2 minutes, about the passing of Chuck Woolery. And then that's all I'm going to say about Chuck Woolery.
Enthusiasts are mourning the death of well-known host Chuck Woolery. This weekend, he was best known as the original host of Wheel of Fortune, and he also hosted the game show Love Connection. Christina Coleman has more from Los Angeles.
TMZ is reporting that Chuck Woolery died Saturday at his house in Texas. His wife reportedly said he wasn't feeling well. She said she went to check on him a little later and he was having trouble breathing. Emergency responders were called, but Woolery still passed away. His good friend and podcast co-host Mark Young wrote on X, quote, "It is with a broken heart that I tell you that my dear brother Chuck Woolery has just passed away. Life will not be the same without him. Rest in peace, brother." Woolery was the original host of the hugely popular show Wheel of Fortune. It premiered in 1975. He's also known for hosting Love Connection. He did a few other shows too. Woolery earned a Daytime Emmy nomination in 1978, and he was inducted into the American TV Game Show Hall of Fame in 2007. His fans loved seeing him. Woolery was also on Fox Nation.
Well, it's time to break out your leg warmers, wine coolers, and parachute pants. This is Fox Nation's 80s quiz show, the ultimate 80s pop culture trivia tournament. I'm your host, Chuck Woolery.
Woolery eventually became a podcaster, conservative commentator, and supporter of President-elect Donald Trump. He continued to share his thoughts with his fans over the years. He also appeared on Fox News in recent years.
I had a great career. I had 5 or 6 shows that I did. I just kept going from show to show to show, and I had a lot of different experiences and a lot of fun. So, you know, it's all about having fun.
Chuck Woolery, you are a legend. You are an icon in the world of...
Well, that's kind of you to say that.
A legend indeed, leaving a big impact on the game show world. Woolery was 83 years old. Reporting in Los Angeles, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Yes, he did have a great voice. I thought so too. Chuck Woolery. Definitely. Tom Christopher, I mean. Oh, okay, Tom Christopher. Yes, he had a good voice. He played Hawk in the second season of Buck Rogers in the 25th. Barbara Rush has died. Yeah, she died a while ago. Barbara Rush. You know her daughter is Claudia Cowan, who is an entertainment reporter. And Barbara Rush was in the Outer Limits original series in a proposed spinoff. It was going to be called The Unknown. But when it wasn't picked up by ABC, ABC chose to go with Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the TV series. They passed on The Unknown. It was going to be a 1-hour anthology horror series. They just recut it and retitled it The Form of Things Unknown. And Barbara Rush was in that. She played Lieutenant Gerard's wife, one of several actresses who played Gerard's wife in the original Fugitive in season 3, and a 2-parter Landscape with Running Figures in season 3 of The Fugitive, the last black and white season of that program. Yeah, she passed some time ago, but yes, I did know that, and I think I mentioned it here on the Pod Blast. Let me tell you exactly when she passed, but thanks for the alert. I mean, if it's news to you, that's cool. Let me just tell you, Barbara Rush. She passed on March 31st, 2024. But she was a beautiful lady and a really competent actor. And actress, however you want to say it. All right, let me get back on track now. Oh, let me continue with the comments. Oh, I loved Emergency. Yeah, I'm way behind. Yeah, Emergency, like Trauma Center. Yeah, they tried to revive that format. I love Peter Sellers. I do too. Hello to CRJ Designs. I met her through Mongolian Monsters YouTube channel, and she's a really nice lady. Thanks for popping in. Hello to you, CRJ. Please, Keebs, I see you throwing the links out there for everyone who popped in who is a YouTube creator themselves. Appreciate that. Where is the trivia? Well, I guess I'll get to the trivia. Let me see. But don't push me or I won't even do it at all. Yeah, there's the Superman the movie that you talked about, Superman the movie, and I showed earlier. Are you an Unsolved Mysteries fan? Yeah, I kind of am. Sorry it's so long to get to you guys. Hello to Oklahoma Cryptid Search Team. Good to see you. Let's see. Hello to Michelle. I'll leave it at that. Oh, you're so sweet. Thanks for being here, CRJ. Okay. Maybe I should do some trivia. Let me see what else I had planned in the agenda. I can just shuffle it around because it is, I guess, starting to get late, 9:25, and I want to watch a certain show I watched Friday night. I won't mention this recording on my DVR right now. Maybe I should play this. If Snarky's still there, I'm going to do this for her. This is a trivia question in a way. Let me get to my intro music. Yeah, let's do this. So, and then we'll get to the trivia. Just hang in there. Let's see. And I guess I'll do some prize questions when we get to that. But where the hell? Here we go. It's time for Soul Survivor. I'm going to show a cast photo. It's so easy for you because it's a show that you like, Snarky. And everyone out there, anyone that's listening or watching after the fact. But let me do my intro. This is Soul Survivor. I name a show and show a picture of the cast, and you try to decide who is the only surviving cast member of that show. I've done it with many different shows. Last week, I did the Beverly Hillbillies, Max Baer Jr., who recently had a birthday. He turned 87, and he's the sole surviving member of the Beverly Hillbillies. But let's get to this week's edition.
My God, here we go.
Okay, well, here is the photo. This is just a slam dunk. I don't even know if Snarky's still out there, but I picked this one for you. She's a huge fan of the show. Hey, we're the monkeys. Easy question. Who's the only surviving monkey in the cast of the Monkees? Some weeks is going to be easy. Some weeks it's going to be hard. Addams Family was hard. That was the first TV cast that I featured doing this game. And it was John Aston who played the original Gomez Addams. I'm just waiting for someone to guess in the chat. Ron Goss is out there watching on Facebook Live. He guessed Mickey Dolenz. Is he right? Yeah. Let me know. I'm going to wait for some other comments to come in. I guess Michelle ain't there. I mean, Snarky ain't there. Isn't there. Let me see. Check the comments now. Ron is a pretty bright guy, so he might be right. But what do you say? Joe Gutfeld concurs with Ron Goss, Mickey Dolenz. And you're both correct, gentlemen. And Snarky knows this very well, being a big Monkees fan herself, if she catches this on the replay. Mickey Dolenz is the only surviving member of the Monkees. Davy Jones passed in 2012. Peter Tork passed in 2019. And then Michael Nesmith passed away in 2021. Mickey Dolenz, of course, is the band's lead singer and drummer. He's currently on tour performing classic hits like I'm a Believer, Last Train to Clarksville, and Daydream Believer. He also opens his sets with the Monkees theme song. Rest in peace to the rest of the fellas, but they are immortal thanks to film and video and music and records. Okay, so I guess we can get to a couple trivia questions. Tracy got it. Tracy got it. You got it. You got it right. Well done. Let's see if there's any other clips I was going to play before we get to the trivia. All right, don't kill me, man, Mr. Gutfeld in New York State. But I want to get to one of two movie reviews. It's less than 3 minutes long. I always thought it was going to be Mona, but it's Moana. Moana 2, Disney movie in theaters now. I'll do Sleepaway Camp later, but I'm not even going to review Wicked because I have no interest in that movie. I'm not against it. A lot of people like the Broadway show. I never saw it. I hear the music's great, but we're not going to review Wicked. But the current movie that's number one at the box office as we're live, Moana 2. Here is what our man on the street, our man in the seats at the movie theater, eating all the popcorn, JT had to say about Disney's Moana 2.
Hello, this is Movie Reviews by JT, and I got another review for you. Moana 2, the sequel to the 2016 animated film. Moana 2 was all right. Not as good as the first movie, though. The songs are okay, but it didn't have the same excitement as the first movie. Ali Carvalho and Dwayne Johnson returned as Moana and Maui. At this time, Moana actually got a sister, and Maui was titled somewhere and started trying to find this disappearing island. I thought the plot to the sequel was a little kind of bland and didn't really like it too much. The songs, like I said, the songs are fine, but not as good as the song from the first film. And there's also a mid-credit scene at the end. I think it may set up for a third movie. And the animation is great. I did laugh a couple of times in the theater today watching this film. But like I said, it just did not have the same excitement as the first movie. And everything. And that allowed us, see a lot more water. They was out on the sea a lot more in the sequel than it was in the first film. But especially Moana now, it starts coming about other people trying to find an island, and starting went into Maui, who was gone and everything. And I did enjoy it though, and everything. And so if I'll probably watch it again, I'll probably watch it again when it comes to Disney Plus, streaming very soon on the sequel and everything. The voice cast is solid and everything. I give Moana 2 a 7 out of 5. If you like the first film and you plan on seeing the sequel and everything, you probably won't like the sequel, but not much as the first film, no, but and everything and stuff. So so that's my review for Moana 2. All right, bye.
Thank you, JT. The Nostalgic Pod Blast man in the seats. Now we need to have a drinking game every time he says and everything, or says everything, take a drink. For those that do drink, I'm just drinking Sunkist right now. All right. So thank you, JT. And now I've got to address something that someone said in the chat. Joe Gutfeld, I did not know you're a YouTube creator. I would like to know what your channel is. I would like to feature some of your movie reviews. If you have some current movies as well, I'd like to play that with your permission. And Joe Gutfeld, this comments on the screen, listeners and viewers rather. I've done movie reviews on my YouTube channel. What is it? Keebler, I'm sure will be happy, or Sarah, My Flock is Everywhere, to link it up. I wish they would, because I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel, because you always watch on Facebook Live. What is it? It's Bobcat Joe Gutfeld. Okay, cool. That helps. I'm going to look for it. If no one links it up here in the chat, I'm going to subscribe to you and look at your content, because you've been a pretty consistent viewer of the Nostalgic Pod Blast, and I appreciate your contributions. So I want to return the favor and see if I can help you out. Dr. Pepper is what you're drinking, CRJ. Cool. I haven't done a review in a while. Okay, well, I want to see what you've done in the past. Ron Goss said something is wrong with his subtitles. Movie reviews came up. Booby review and Moana came up. Mohammed. Yeah. And by the way, I have a little warning for everybody. Anyone out there that has a Facebook group, they're going to switch to AI in like a day. And right now you have the ability to turn it off and disable it. I think if you enable it, you'll never be able to turn it off. I don't trust AI. Oh, darn. I meant to play a clip from Battlestar, the original Battlestar Galactica from the 3-hour version from September 17th, 1978, where Apollo's explaining to Boxey the origin of the Cylons. Basically, he says, well, humans created the Cylons. They're a race of it was a reptilian race, and they built machines. And then the machines learned and started to take over. And when the humanoid beings turned the robots off, that's when they started to kill the humans. And look, I know that's a big stretch and a big leap, but I just don't trust AI. And I know Keebs, that's fine for songs and things, but I do not trust AI, and I'm not going to allow that in my group, at least for now. Eventually they'll force it on us, right? But it was an AI assist. And it right when you go to your Facebook group, I'm just letting you guys know, like Jerry Dobson, if you're out there in Nostalgia World, you have a Facebook group. I don't know if it does the same with pages or not, like BCAN. There's a page, not a group. But it says in a day, you'll see a little banner. It's going to turn on AI to moderate your group. To hell with that. How many times have I been on my phone and it does what I call auto incorrect? It incorrectly corrects something I typed. I'll put it in, I'll type the word in a text correctly and properly. It'll switch it to something entirely different by the time I hit send, and then it sends some gibberish. I don't trust AI. There's no way I'm going to have them moderate the Nostalgic Pod Blast Facebook group. There's no way. All right, so let's get to some trivia now. I have a lot of other stuff, but I don't want to make you wait much longer. Since you've been demanding it, we're going to play a little game. Oh, I did have that Fall Guy version. I'll play it later, not sung by Lee Majors, but right now. Yes, we're going to play some trivia. Let me get the questions right here, and I will have some prize questions. This will be 1970s general trivia. Some questions are really easy. Some are a little bit harder. I'm going to put a question on the screen right now, and we'll start playing the game. Okay. Uh-oh. All right, here it is. Here comes the first question. Which American spacecraft made the first successful landing on the moon in 1972? There's a question for you. Okay. I'm getting the next question for you all. The Apollo 12 guest Joe Gutfeld. Keebler said about AI, if you use AI as a tool and not rely on it, it's good. Exactly. AI shouldn't be a moderator yet. No way in hell. Apollo 12 is what he guessed. Very good. Let's get on with another question. Let's get it on. And I may have asked this, Keebler, you have a better memory than I do. Which popular fashion accessory was invented in the 1970s? Very general question. Here's your choices. The pet rock, the slap bracelet, the friendship bracelet, or the mood ring? Which popular fashion accessory was invented in the 1970s? Your choices again are the pet rock, the slap bracelet, the friendship bracelet, or the mood ring. It's not the friendship bracelet. That's a 1980s thing. CRJ Designs guesses the mood ring. Joe Gutfeld guesses the mood ring. And you're both correct. The mood ring, invented in the 1970s by Joshua Reynolds and Maurice Ambatz, became a popular fashion accessory because the pet rock is not a fashion accessory. That was a hint there in the question itself. It became a popular fashion accessory the moon rig did due to its ability to change colors based on the wearer's body temperature. The thermochromic element was marketed as a way to reflect the wearer's emotional state, making it a trendy and intriguing item during the decade of the 1970s. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to pass this next question because I know we asked that one. Just too easy. All right. Which iconic arcade game was released in 1978 featuring a little yellow character? It's Pac-Man. I could have sworn it was 1980, but all right. So we've asked that. I know I've asked that question. Let me continue with my little. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. I think it's kind of easy, Mr. Gutfeld, and anyone else that's playing. But here it is. It's an Olympics question. And this goes back to 1976. Which country was the host of the 1976 Summer Olympic Games? You want some choices? Your choices are Canada, Mexico, Australia, or Japan. Joe Gutfeld guessed Canada. Tracy says, got to run, guys. Have a great night. Thank you again for the contribution. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get me a Snickers bar or something. Thank you. Thank you. Montreal, to be specific, Joe Gutfeld says. Montreal, Canada. And CRJ Designs also guessed Canada. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. I just got some interesting news. Call time has been moved up. Good for something I'm working on Monday. Okay, cool. Night Tracy said CRJ Designs. Okay, let me get to it. So yes, of course you guys are right. The 1976 Summer Olympic Games were held in Montreal, Canada, as Joe said in chat. This event marked the first time the Olympics were hosted by Canada, showcasing the country's ability to organize a major international sporting event. Okay, I asked that question. Hang on, bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, this is cool. I know I asked this, but no, I'll pass it along. I'm not going to do that. Hang on. Voyager 6. Okay, there's that. Too easy. I'm not going to ask these questions about Muhammad Ali. They're just too easy. Let me get to another question. That's too easy. What was the name of the famous nightclub in New York City that opened in 1977? Everybody knows it's Studio 54. And I know I've asked that one before anyway. I'm trying to shuffle the deck, as it were, with these questions. Okay. I asked this one just now, but I don't think anyone I didn't really definitively answer this question. Which spacecraft made the first successful landing on the moon in 72? Now I'm going to give you choices, which I didn't do a moment ago. Let me put it on the screen. Joe Gutfeld added, the Olympic Stadium was the home of the Montreal Expos. Yes, it was. When there were the Montreal Expos. All right, question. Which American spacecraft made the first successful landing on the moon in 1972? Your choices are Apollo 17, Apollo 13, Apollo 15, or Apollo 11. Repeating. Question. Which American spacecraft made the first successful landing on the moon in 1972? Your choices are Apollo 17, Apollo 13, Apollo 15, or Apollo 11. Yeah, spacecraft. Let's see. Joe Gutfeld answered Apollo 15. Let's go ahead and see if that's correct. Incorrect. Let me put the question back up. Okay. The American spacecraft that made the first successful landing on the moon was Apollo 11 in 1969, not 1972. Trick question. I don't like this. I don't like to trick people. Apollo 11 was the mission that allowed astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to become the first humans to walk on the moon. We're going to throw that question out. That's BS. I'm not going to use this source anymore for trivia questions. I apologize, Joe. We're going to throw that one out and not hold that against you because that's crap. I already asked this question about the 1967 Boston Marathon. We're gonna get past that one. Hang on. I don't know why I'm getting these questions. Okay, hang on. Oh God. Okay, we're gonna ask some music questions now. Okay. This is about a lyric, a musical lyric in a 1970 song. I'm going to put the question on the screen. I know, Keebler, I asked that question earlier. I know. I said so. All right. Let me get the question. Where the hell is it? Here it is. Well, I'll do it on my other channel. Complete the 1970s T-Rex hit. Ride a White What? This is a musical lyric from a 1970 song. Your choices are swan, horse, bicycle, or tiger. Complete the 1970s T-Rex, that's the band, hit. Ride a White What? Swan, horse, bicycle, or tiger. You can answer whenever you like, CRJ. Joe Gutfeld guessed horse. What do you say? Your choices are swan, horse, bicycle, or tiger. Let me see if anyone else guessed. Keebler guessed tiger. Joe Gutfeld guessed horse. Swan was the correct answer. Ride a White Swan was the first hit single by the British rock band T-Rex, like the dinosaur, released in 1970. Written by lead singer Mark Bolan, the song marked the beginning of the band's transition from folk rock to glam rock, a genre they would help popularize in the early 1970s. Okay. All right, this is a good question. Music question, 1970s question. Putting it on the screen. But Chance, I was born in 1980. Yeah, youngin'. Next question. Who was moonlighting in 1975? Keeb says, before my time, never heard of that one either, the T-Rex question. Who was moonlighting in 1975? Well, maybe I should do 80s questions. Well, I'll switch to 80s. Do you want me to do that? I can make an adjustment here. But who was moonlighting in 1975? Was it The Moon, Elton John, David Bowie, or Leo Sayer? When I need you. I'm off kidding. Leo Sayer. He had some hits. He's a British singer. I like You Make Me Feel Like Dancing. I won't try to sing again. Leo Sayer is underrated. If you like, it's soft rock, Leo Sayer. But I like some of his hit songs. Magdalena. That was a weird one from Leo Sayer. All right. So again, who was moonlighting in 1975? The Moon, Elton John, David Bowie, or Leo Sayer? Joe Gutfeld guessed David Bowie. Keeper said, I was born in 1975. Wasn't listening to anything at that time. Haven't you heard of classic rock, girlfriend? Doesn't matter. I mean, I watched things that were made, movies and TV shows before my time. That don't mean nothing. Doesn't mean anything. Okay, well, I guess we're just going to go with, Leo Sayer, guess RJ Designs YouTube channel. But Joe Gutfeld guessed David Bowie. Who's right? And the question again, I'm going to put it on the screen. Who was moonlighting in 1975? The Moon, Elton John, David Bowie, or Leo Sayer? It was Leo Sayer. In 1975, British singer Leo Sayer released the hit song Moonlighting, which tells the story of a young couple eloping to be together. The song became one of Leo Sayer's signature tracks and contributed to his international fame during the 1970s. Well done. All right, I'm going to make this a prize question. First person that guesses it correctly and says claim will get a choice of 1978 Grease cards, 5 to be specific, 5 Grease cards, or 5 Batman 1989 Topps cards. Here's your question. No cheating, no Google cheating. Question, who had a lovely day in 1978? And we'll get to the 80s. We'll get to the 80s. I'm just going to do one more 70s question after this, and then I'll get to 1980s trivia. Who had a lovely day in 1978? That's kind of an easy question. Your choices are Bill Withers, Al Green, Elton John, or the Cookie Monster. CRJ said to Keebler in the chat, Keebler, hun, I'm a 1990s country lover. Question again. Who had a lovely day in 1978? If you want the Grease cards or the Topps cards, you got to say claim after you answer the trivia question. And if you're correct, you win 5 cards of your choice. Batman 89 or Grease 78. Bill Withers was a guess. Okay, we're gonna reveal the answer right now. That is correct. In 1978, Bill Withers released the hit song Lovely Day, which became one of his most iconic tracks. Known for its uplifting lyrics and Withers' smooth, soulful voice, the song remains a classic in the soul and R&B genres. So well done. Do you want, well, you didn't say claim. We'll do another prize question. Okay. Here's another, and this will be the last 70s, and I'll switch to 1980s questions. Oh, you said claim? Okay, well, then I'll give it to you. What do you want? Do you want, oh shit. Excuse family language. Something went wrong here. Excuse my language. Something screwed up when I try to put the question on the screen. Hang on a second. God. Would you like Grease cards? All you have to do, by the way, I didn't mention this yet. Email me at Goldar3, like Space Giants, Goldar3@AOL.com. There he goes. Keebler's one step ahead of me. Send wherever you want me to mail it to, a P.O. box, work address, wherever. I'll mail you your choice of 5 mint condition Batman 1989 cards or 5 mint condition 1978 Grease cards, both by Topps Card Company, Bubblegum Card Company, most notably for sports cards, but they did movie cards, of course, as well. So you win. I'll do another Cookie Monster claim. You got it, CRJ. Good job. Very good. Oh, I didn't put the question up properly, did I? Let me do that now. Okay. Next question. What were Straub's part of in 1973? That's StraWBS. Straub's. What were Straub's part of in 1973? Your choices are The Breakfast Club, The Union, The Coalition, or The Alliance. What were the Straub's, like strawberry, what were the Straub's part of in 1973? Your choices are The Breakfast Club, The Union, The Coalition, or The Alliance. CRJ guessed The Union. Joe Gutfeld guessed The Alliance. It was The Union. In 1973, the British rock band Straub's released an album titled Bursting at the Seams, which featured the song Part of the Union. This song became one of their biggest hits and is known for its pro-union lyrics reflecting the labor movements and union activities of the time. All right, I'm going to do one more. I'm not trying to be a fibber, but this is a good question. It's a Rolling Stones question, music question. All right, it's coming up on the screen right now. Name the 1977 live action album. I'm sorry, live action. I'm so used to movies versus animated movies in live action. All right, take two. Name the 1977 live album released by the Rolling Stones. No Google cheating, please. Your choices are The Best of ABBA, Some Girls, Sticky Fingers, or Love You Live. Question. Name the 1977 live album released by the Rolling Stones. Your choices are The Best of ABBA, Some Girls, Sticky Fingers, or Love You Live. So easy. CRJ said Harold is awesome at this game because he is old. Joe Gutfeld guessed Sticky Fingers to the question. Name the 1977 live album released by the Rolling Stones. He guessed Sticky Fingers. Incorrect. Love You Live is a double live album by the Rolling Stones released in 1977. It features recordings from performances in Toronto, Paris, France, and London, England, capturing the band's energetic stage presence and showcasing their classic hits. The next one's too easy. I'll just say it, but I'm not going to put it on the screen. Which film featured the 1978 hit song Sandy? Grease, Jaws, American Graffiti, or Saturday Night Fever? Obviously, it's Grease. That would have been appropriate for the Grease cards, wouldn't it? But let me just see. I'm trying to find where the 1980s questions are. Oh, this is a good Beatles question. Post-Beatles. I'll put it on the screen right now. Which ex-Beatle had a U.S. #1 hit on the charts in 1973 with Photograph? Which ex-Beatle had a #1 hit in the U.S. in 1973 with Photograph? Is it Elvis Presley, George Harrison, Paul McCartney, or Ringo Starr? Elvis Presley. Is it Elvis Presley, George Harrison, Paul McCartney, or Ringo Starr? Any guesses? Which ex-Beatle had a U.S. #1 hit in 1973 with Photograph? Okay, CRJ Designs guessed Ringo. Keebler guessed Paul McCartney. Joe Gutfeld guessed Paul McCartney. Well, let's find out. No, Ringo Starr, the drummer for the Beatles, achieved solo success with his 1973 hit song Photograph, which reached #1 on the U.S. charts, co-written with fellow Beatle George Harrison. George Harrison, yeah, the song marked one of Ringo Starr's most successful post-Beatles singles. Wow. Oh, you're gonna like these choices. Let me put this. This is a Broadway question, Joe. You're near there, right? Okay. Question is, which musical opened on Broadway in 1972? Which musical opened on Broadway in 1972? Your choices are, this is funny, Star Wars the Musical, Pippin, A Chorus Line, or Grease. I'll make this a prize question for 5 Grease cards. Joe Gutfeld guessed Grease. All right, so this will be a prize question. CRJ Designs guessed Pippin. Joe Gutfeld guessed Grease. Question is, which Broadway musical opened on Broadway in 1972? Which musical opened on Broadway in 1972? Grease claims, says Joe Gutfeld, but CRJ says Pippin. Who's right? It's Grease. So I owe Joe some cards. Grease, a musical set in the 1950s, opened on Broadway in 1972 and became an instant hit. The show, known for its catchy songs and nostalgic portrayal of teenage life, later inspired a successful film adaptation in 1978 by Paramount Pictures. Good. So, you know the drill, Joe. I have your information, so you don't need, unless you moved. I doubt you did. Oh, well, let's, CRJ, he edged out because he had the correct answer. But you already won one. Oh, and I didn't tell you this rule. If you win one prize per stream, it's one per winner. So someone else can have a chance to play. So I'll still do some more questions if you like, but you guys are now ineligible for future prizes, but you've already each won. So all I need to know from you, CRJ, is what kind of cards you want and where I mail them to. And you can tell me that in the email or in the chat. I mean, don't put the address in the chat. I mean, you could let me know which you prefer, the Batman 89 tops or the Grease 78 tops. Okay, so let's do another question real quick. And then I got to start getting on to other stuff. Oh, cool. And one of my moderators, one of my angels, Keebs in Texas State, just put your channel, Joe, your YouTube channel on the screen. That's awesome. Good. Joe Gutfeld adds, the original Sandy starred in the children's show, The Magic Garden, which first aired in 1972. That's a good piece of trivia. And you want the Batman. You got it. Michael Keaton was a great Batman, was he not? And Bruce Wayne. But 2 musicals opened in 1972, CRJ points out. Probably so. You know, that question was a little misleading. Let's see. Well, here's a 1980s question, a music question. Let me put it on the screen. This will be a prize question for those that haven't gotten a prize yet. Here's the question. Who were on the night shift in the 1985 charts? Your choices are the Commodores, the Beatles, the Temptations, or Earth, Wind, and Fire. Which band, in other words, sang Night Shift? Who were on the night shift in the 1985 Billboard charts? The Commodores, the Beatles, the Temptations, or Earth, Wind, and Fire? I think that's kind of a hard question. What do you think? This will be the last question we do. I'm going to move on to something else. Keebler said EWF. I don't know what that means. Earth, Wind, and Fire is what that means. Duh. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Well, let's see. You're the only one that guessed. So let me get to... Temptations guessed CRJ Designs. It was the Commodores. An American funk and soul band achieved significant success with their hit song Night Shift in 1985. The song, a tribute to soul singers Marvin Gaye and Jackie Wilson, topped the charts and won a Grammy Award for the best vocal R&B performance by a duo or a group. All right. That's going to wrap our trivia for the week. That was fun. So I owe CRJ Designs and Joe Gutfeld some cards. So that's cool. And Joe, you're going to build a little collection, man. I mailed a couple cards to you already. He's a good game player. He's a good trivia player. All right. So let me see. Let me get to what I'd prepared in my little script. I've got to also talk about these fine folks that support the Pod Blast. Talking about Remind Magazine. And I want to show you the new edition. It's a holiday edition. It's a double issue that went out before Halloween, actually. At least I got my copy. Let's see. They kindly mailed to me. Wait a minute. Here's the cover. And look, this is a holiday-themed edition. As I said, I know I'm repeating myself. Where the hell is it? Here it is. Cowboy Christmas. You know who that is on the cover? He was a little bit older than he was in It's a Wonderful Life. That's Jimmy Stewart, James Stewart right there. Jimmy Stewart's right there on the cover. Cowboy Christmas. That's the theme of the current double issue of Remind Magazine. Now, you can give this to yourself or to someone you love for the holidays for a very low price for one whole year. One whole year. And that consists of 10 issues. They do a double-sized issue in the summertime and during the holiday season. But why Remind Magazine? Here's why. Because if you're listening or watching the Nostalgic Pod Blast, the odds are you're into nostalgia. Well, this monthly magazine I want to tell you about, Remind Magazine, is loaded with interesting articles, games, full-color puzzles, interviews with your favorite stars, creators, and personalities, and lots more. Remind Magazine offers fresh takes on popular entertainment from days gone by. Each issue has dozens of brain-teasing puzzles, trivia quizzes, classic comics, and monthly themed features from the 1950s through the 1990s. And the best part is, it comes to you in the mail, just like the old days when Gen Xers were little and you had Mad Magazine or Sports Illustrated Magazine or National Geographic World Magazine. I like Pizzazz Magazine from Marvel, Dynamite Magazine, Boys Life, whatever. You get the point. Remind, though, is written for adults while gently tapping your inner child. And you can get it and give it for just $12 out the door. That includes shipping. That includes tax. $12. Just go to remindmagazine.com to claim this offer. In year 2, it goes to $24, but that's still a great deal because the cover price of the current issue at the newsstand, you can still go to newsstands. Barnes & Noble carries Remind Magazine, but they sell out quick. I keep track on that. I go to Barnes & Noble a lot. I live near one, and they're almost always sold out. Like after the first week, Remind Magazine is off the shelf. It's $5.99 plus tax if you bought it off the newsstand. But how about $1 and then $2 the next year? That's a great price, and it's a big magazine you can look forward to. Excuse me. It's just loaded with stuff that I just talked about. You can also call them old school at 855-773-6463, and a kind human being, not AI, order specialist will assist you in processing your Remind subscription. And please mention the Nostalgic Pod Blast when you order. RemindMagazine.com. $12. You can give the gift to yourself or to someone you care about. And they'll think you spent a heck of a lot more than $12. You can't even get a streaming service for 12 months for $12 for 1 month. I can't speak. $12 for 1 month. You can't even do that. But $12 for the whole year, that's just such a great price. Now back to the Nostalgic Pod Blast. Thanks to Remind Magazine. All right, so I highly recommend Remind Magazine. I love it. I read it all the time. And they also will send you, I haven't mentioned this ever, an email. You get a weekly email with nice articles and features, some exclusive stuff in an email they send out each and every week. And sometimes there'll be more than one per week. And they're not hitting you up for money. It's not like solicitation or spam. It's good stuff. I need to get into the habit of reading some of the articles that they do send. Okay, let me get to this. Let's see what else I have for you all. Oh yeah, it's time for a regular feature we used to do a lot. I'm just going to mention some. I quit doing birthdays because it dates the show. And I want this show to have rewatchability, and I don't want to date it. You know, like a lot of news shows, they're dated after a month. They're hot at the time, but then they're dated. Except for the phone callers. That's always priceless. No matter, you know, I love phone calls on shows that I like to listen to. Okay, but let's talk about just a couple notable pop culture. We got some good birthdays this time for the weekend. And let's start with this lady. Jo Beth Williams. Do you remember who she is? There she is. That's Jo Beth Williams. She starred in all sorts of great movies back in the day, and she's still out there acting. I think she turned 73 on December the 6th, 2024. And I loved her in Poltergeist. There's Dominique Dunne to the left of her in that picture. Dominique Dunne sadly was killed by an ex-boyfriend when she had already started filming V, the original miniseries, directed and written and produced by Kenneth Johnson. But I love Poltergeist, and that's going to segue into our character actor of the week in a moment. There's a shot of her. And the rumor is those are real skeletons in that swimming pool set. Wow. Those are real bodies, supposedly. I mean, that's what I read. I hope that's not BS. But Jo Beth Williams, I loved her in everything I saw her in. I like Teachers. Remember that movie Teachers? She was naked in Teachers. But Jo Beth Williams. Now, let me tell you where she was born really quickly. I didn't have time to prepare that. She's 76. I misspoke. She's not 73. She turned 76 on December 6th, 2024. She was born December 6th, 1948. She's still performing to this day. And I think Poltergeist is my favorite movie she ever did. Of course, she was born in Houston, Texas on December 6th, 1948. So happy birthday to Jo Beth Williams. Great actress. Never enjoyed her performances. Okay. And I think that's really all I had. I just had the one birthday that was notable. That one right there. All right, let me see what other clips I have. Let's see what else I have here for you. The character actor highlight. Okay, I'm going to mention a name. I got a few clips. You'll find this guy interesting, I think, because he was in Poltergeist as well. He was one of the co-stars of Poltergeist. Richard Lawson. Do you know who Richard Lawson is? And he's still alive. I thought the man was deceased. I was delighted to learn that he's still alive. He is such a good actor. He was in so many things. And he has his own YouTube channel. He puts his own acting clips on his YouTube channel, Richard Lawson. I don't know if Keebler has time to find that. But I'm going to play you a clip of this guy and then talk briefly about him. I'm not going to go on and on and on and have a biography channel segment. But this guy, you've seen him in all sorts of great movies and TV shows. Let me see if I can find it. Here is a clip of him in All in the Family. This is 1 minute 57 seconds long in the great Norman Lear original All in the Family that started that whole list of great shows from Norman Lear and started the All in the Family universe, which branched out to the Jeffersons and Maude. There was a whole universe of All in the Family. Let's watch Richard Lawson in All in the Family, courtesy of his YouTube channel, Richard Lawson on YouTube. This is who Richard Lawson is.
Hey, how come we're not moving?
We ain't moving because the train stopped. In the tunnel. It always does that.
Well, I wonder what's wrong.
I'll tell you what's wrong, sister. There's something wrong with this whole stinking, rotten, maggot-infested, corrupt system, which sucks the lifeblood out of the honest sweat of oppressed workers. This is the third time we done stopped this morning. But you see, that's what happens when the money-grubbing controls the power, choking off the lifeblood of the people.
Well, you brung that on yourself, little girl.
Howard,
Esther, I didn't
speak
mean
to
it.
me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
All you done was belt him.
I didn't mean it.
Honey, will you stop waking up? He's dead.
Yeah, he's better off dead than under the oppressive yoke of capitalistic tyranny. A lowly puppet. His strings being manipulated by Wall Street.
Will you shut up?
I do.
All you done was belt him.
Gonna hold you in court and sue you for every cent you got. I'm seriously injured. I got blurred vision, a low backache, and a throbbing pain in my skull.
And whiplash.
And an earache.
You want to sue me? Go ahead and sue me. I don't care. I deserve it. Take my money, take my house, take everything.
Hey, right on, brother. Give it all up. The more you possess, the more you are possessed, while the wretched of the earth have to scrounge for a meager existence.
That's Richard Lawson. He's a really good actor. He did a show, guest spot on a show I like called White Shadow, starring Ken Howard, and he played sort of a disgruntled teacher. But that's actor Richard Lawson. He was born on Friday, March 7th, 1947 as Ricky Lee Lawson. He starred in numerous television shows and movies, probably best known for his role as Ryan in the 1982 film Poltergeist, and Dr. Ben Taylor in the 1983 NBC miniseries V by Kenneth Johnson, who has been interviewed here on the Nostalgic Pod Blast. Let's look at a 1-minute clip of Richard Lawson and actor Ben Taylor in V.
A little shaky, Pop? I'll be all right.
Just let me do it by myself.
You got it.
Hey, my man Ben, what it is?
What it is. It's bad grammar, my brother. Elias, when are you gonna stop this poor man's Richard Pryor act?
What you talking, man? Brother, this ain't no act. This here is pure D. Elias, all right?
Well, it's pure D something.
Look, man, I'm sorry, but can't all of us be Dr. Kildare, you know what I mean? Uncle Tom.
Oh, come on, come on. That Uncle Tom stuff doesn't work anymore. You can be anything that you want to be. But first you got to get rid of this tap dance and this two-bit crook routine and start to grow up.
Yeah, okay, well, once again, we thank you, Mr. Sidney Poitier. Thank you. Yo, Pop, how you doing, man?
Spoiler alert, his character, who's a doctor, winds up getting killed by the alien lizards. That was the irony of it. But what a wonderful actor. I've always liked his performances, and he's been in soap operas. I'm sure I know Tracy went to bed or whatever, but Tracy of Tracy's Fractured History More probably has seen him in many soap operas over the past several years. Let's see, what other clip did I guess that's all the clips I had of him, but I'm not going to go on and on about him, but he is my character actor of the week. Great actor. And he was born as Ricky Lee Lawson in Loma Linda, California. He was drafted into the United States Army and became a medic. He was a real doctor. I did not know that. He served 21 months in Vietnam during the Vietnam War and was wounded in action. After completing his military duty, he embarked on an acting career. I thought I had a picture of him. Let me put that up while I tell you a little bit about this actor. He's a really cool guy. Let me see. Clips, pictures, and I'll upload one. I thought I had one here. Where is he? Yes, this is cool. This is a picture of him as a vampire. Check this out. There's Richard Lawson as a vampire. Isn't that cool? All right, let me just tell you a little bit more about him. He served our country in the U.S., becoming a medic, served 21 months in Vietnam during the Vietnam War, and was wounded in action. And after completing his military duty, he embarked on an acting career. His first feature film role was uncredited, and it was that of a gay man targeted for murder in the 1971 movie Dirty Harry, starring Clint Eastwood. In 1973, he played Willis, not what you talking about, Willis, but a different Willis in Scream, Blackula Scream, seen on the screen. Sorry, listeners. His other well-known roles include the 1979 movie The Main Event. I was going to pull a clip of that, but I thought in the interest of time, I wouldn't, and I didn't. And the 1984 drama Streets of Fire, good movie where he played Officer Ed Price. Richard Lawson's first ongoing starring role in a television series was in the Australian drama Hotel Story in 1977. However, that series was canceled before the first episode even aired. Lawson also starred in the 1980s series Chicago Story, and he took the ongoing role of Nick Kimball on the primetime soap opera Dynasty, or as I affectionately call Dynasty, from 1986 until 1987. He also appeared in The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd as Detective Nathaniel Hawthorne from 1989 to 1991, and he was in the daytime soap opera All My Children, or as someone who used to be my boss in the sales world, he acted, Lawrence Hyde's his name, he acted in All My Children. He called it All My Kids. But Lawson was in All My Children as Lucas Barnes from 1992 until 1994. Lawson has made many guest appearances on television, including roles on Kojak. Big difference there. Not Kolchak, the Night Stalker. Kojak. Who loves you, baby? Telly Savalas. Lawson had television appearances on Kojak, Get Christy Love, Sister Sister on the WB Network, Soul Food, The Bernie Mac Show, The Division, All in the Family, in the clip that I played a moment ago, and Strong Medicine. Richard Lawson was married to his first wife, actress Denise Gordy, from New Year's Eve 1978 until 1989. They have one daughter, actress Bianca Lawson, born in 1979, together. Lawson also has a son named Ricky, born in 1992. On March 22nd, 1992, Lawson survived the U.S. Air Flight 405 plane crash after takeoff from LaGuardia Airport in Queens, New York City. Woo! During the summer of 2013, Lawson began dating Tina Knowles, a fashion designer and mother of singers Beyonce. Wow! And Solange Knowles. Lawson and Knowles had each known each other for over 30 years, and she was the best friend of his late sister. As a result, Richard Lawson stated that he had, quote, always admired her from afar and up close too, unquote. The couple married on April 12, 2015, but Knowles filed for divorce from Richard Lawson in July of 2023. How about that? There's a Beyonce connection with actor Richard Lawson. Now, I don't want to go down the whole list. He has an impressive list of credits starting with Dirty Harry as homosexual. That's what it says here on the page I'm looking at. And then he did Scream, Blackula Scream, playing Willis Daniels. Talked about that. Anyway, I mean, on and on and on. Just a really nice, underrated, but super talented actor, character actor. He was in The Cosby Show, Jag. Trying to see some more recent stuff because he's in something that's just been announced titled Beauty in Black, like Black Beauty, but Beauty in Black. I see a credit in 2022 for the Miss Pat Show, playing Major in the episode Parents Just Don't Understand. He's a great actor. All right, so wow. I was going to do an there was a segment I used to do called the Old Fashioned Expression of the Week that also could fall into TV cliche of the week. And I'll just do it. Cojones. He's got some cojones. That's my, let me take the photo off. Cojones is my throwback expression of the week, or TV cliche of the week. You don't hear that a whole lot more. You don't hear that much anymore. Okay, the nostalgic toy of the week. I meant to have that pulled off the shelf. Damn. All right, I got it right here. Whoa, don't fall. I've done a post about this. I don't think I ever talked about it on the show. This is my nostalgic toy of the week. Now, this is something for Gen Xers. So if you're a little bit younger, you probably don't remember this. It's the coin holder. It would smell like a garden hose. And you put your change in. My grandpa had it. And look, it's like a little keychain, but it's a coin holder and you squeeze it. Is it a toy? I guess it's not really a toy, but I consider it a toy. And you could it could be a toy if you tried to attach it to your nose like this and just be a goofball when you're a kid. I did that. It hurts though. It kind of pinches your nose. But the little coin holder, I think that's a stretch, I guess, to call it a toy, but that's my nostalgic toy of the week. A little coin holder. There it is. And in high definition, I hope. Okay. I've gone 2 hours, 47 minutes. I was trying to go 3 for the time slot. I remember them since CRJ Designs. I'm so glad you're still with me. I thought I might have been a big tune out there when I went on and on and on and on and on and on and on about certain things. Okay. Oh my God, that was not easy to find, boss man. You found it. There's Richard Lawson's YouTube channel, the actor. Thank you for linking that up. I subscribed to him today. I thought there's so many great clips. Not the hair cuttery or hair suckery, as comedian Jim Gossett jokes about it, but when he talks about Trey Gowdy, this guy, Trey Gowdy, he's a TV news. I think he's on Fox News now, but he used to serve the U.S. government. And he has the worst hair I've ever seen. The hair suckery. That's what Gossett joked about, where he got his hair cut. Okay, let's move on. Oh, my fake rant of the week, and we're going to start to wrap the show. We only have a few more minutes to go. Chance the Red-Nosed Podcaster. Yeah. How you doing? This is the sun kiss, folks. It's making me loopy. All right. CRJ is laughing at your joke, Keebler. Okay, so I'm not on point. I usually have better flow, like I'm stuttering and stammering and oh, yeah. I'll do this before I get to the fake rant of the week. I talked about the unaired version of the Fall Guy pilot. Here's a 1 minute, 45 second clip. This is the theme not sung by Lee Majors. in the unaired version, which no one has but me that I'm aware of, the studio print from 20th Century Fox, I converted this over so you could hear the Unknown Stuntman, not sung by Lee Majors. Here it is.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been there with Farrah. I'm never seen with anything less than a 9. So fine. I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone fast with a girl named Bo Hope, but somehow they did not end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I'll take my chances. I die for a living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine. 'Cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
So there was some sexually suggestive lyrics that were changed when it got picked up by ABC to be a regular series. Instead of I've been there with Farrah, it was changed to I've been seen with Farrah. They did some tweaking with the lyrics there. And the show is airing again for the first time in many, many years, since 1997 in syndication, but they've withheld 6 episodes from Heroes and Icons. Here's a 30-second promo for Heroes and Icons. They air it as a mini binge every Thursday from noon to 5. And then on Sundays, it's 6 to 7. They show 1 episode of Fall Guy every Sunday on Heroes and Icons. Here's a little promo they put together, 30 seconds.
When criminals break loose, you know who to call. No, not them. Him.
Are you an actor?
Stuntman.
A man like him is rare. What do you want me to do? Kill him?
For stuntman Colt Seavers, moonlighting as a bounty hunter is all part of being the Fall Guy. Premiering Thursday, May 9th at noon, 11 Central. Part of the Day Shift.
Yeah, so the guy said, kill him. That's Lee Majors' best man at his wedding to his current wife, Faith Noel. And that's Terry Kaiser. And of course, he was Weekend at Bernie's Bernie. He's best known for that, but he's done so many more cooler roles than that, I think. Action roles and things. I loved a movie called Steel starring Lee Majors. I've talked about it ad nauseum, but that's Terry Kaiser. Okay, so let's see what else I got here. Oh, we got some comments coming in. It's a cheesy show. Lee Majors is better. Oh, yeah, the version of him singing the song. I agree. And so does CRJ. She says, I agree. Yeah, the Lee Majors song. He first sang on the $6 Million Man, Sweet Jamie, and the Bionic Woman 2-part episode towards the end of season 2 of the $6 Million Man. There was a song, Sweet Jamie, and that's the first time I heard Lee Majors sing. He never sang on Big Valley that I'm aware of. I'm watching Big Valley in many cases for the very first time. It airs on MeTV every Saturday, I think at noon on Saturday. And I have a bunch stacked up in the old DVR I haven't gotten to, but I watched a lot of them, but I want to watch them all. But yeah. Let's see what else. All right. So, whoa. Sure, I got all the clips played. I hate it when I miss out. I'm going to play a little holiday song. This is one of my favorite holiday songs. This is a risk with the bots. I'll cut it if things go awry, but this is Herb Alpert, and I love this version. I did it a couple years ago, but it was just audio. I'm going to show a little video piece behind the scenes. This is the Tijuana Brass. I just love this song because it's my favorite things. It combines the Julie Andrews classic with a little bit of the James Bond theme. You hear the James Bond. down. In this, let's try to watch 3 minutes of this. The great Herb Alpert. It's a good, I can't say it's a holiday classic song, but I like to listen to it during the holidays. And I first heard this on AM radio in 1991, driving home from college for the holidays. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the James Bond theme in there. What is that? But let's try to watch some of this. It's actually, there's a performance on the official channel of Ed Sullivan. The Ed Sullivan, don't need to link that, Keebs, but I'm just for poops and giggles. A great performance, not the one I'm going to play, is on the official Ed Sullivan Show YouTube channel. But here's some behind the scenes footage I think I can get away with, I hope. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Are we still on the air? I can't believe I got to play that. Cool. Well, now I know for next year too. I changed the camera shot. Anyone that's watching, sorry listeners, where you can see some of my collectibles in the background. Hopefully for the first time in HD. There's some lighting issues I'm going to correct for next time. But and I'm going to change out things. I like to have different things to look at in the background. For anyone that's watching this, I want to make it more like a TV show and not quite so dull and boring like I tend to be. So there's that. And I want to say that was my little holiday song of the week. You know, last year, Southern California, Sarah and I did a nice little New Year's Eve special. We're going to do that again this year. I'd like to collaborate with her and have a Pod Blast New Year's Eve special. We watch some behind the scenes of the Poseidon Adventure, which takes place on New Year's Eve. Classic movie. The original. I saw the remake too from 2005, I think it was, and it was all right, but it's nothing like the original. Okay, so got one other quick movie review, 2 minutes. Sleepaway Camp. I don't even know if it's in theaters anymore, But JT, he warmed the seats for us. He took the dive and took the leap to see this movie. Spared us if it sucked. Let's see what he said. I haven't watched it yet. Sleepaway Camp. Let's look.
Hello, this is Movie Reviews by JT, and I got another review for you. Sleepaway Camp. This film is a top-tier 80s slasher film I have seen so many times, and it is good, especially the ending and everything. And this film stars Felissa Rose as Angela Baker. Her and her cousin Ricky goes to Camp Arawak for the summer after something happened in 1975, and then Angela being bothered by this girl named Judy and camp counselor, and then a lot of stuff started to go on. A lot of people and stuff. This movie had a lot of violence in that and everything. And Felissa Rose does a great job playing Angela Baker. That's why she's a horror icon and everything. And yeah, Sleepaway Camp, like I said, it's one of my favorite slasher films and everything. This film is so good. And every time I watch this movie and everything and stuff, and yeah, and stuff, and it's one of the best 80s slasher films I watched and everything. And the ending to the movie, when Angela Baker does the face, is so iconic and everything. And yeah, everybody else in the movie performances are great too in the film and everything. And yeah, and stuff. I guess Sleepaway Camp, a 9 out of 10. This is a great film. And so you have not seen this film, or you have seen Sleepaway Camp and everything and stuff. I know you guys enjoy this movie a lot and everything, so and stuff. So that's my review for Sleepaway Camp. All right, bye.
Bye. Thank you, CJ. Yeah, see, I thought it might be in theaters now. I said CJ. I was looking at her comment in chat. TJ! That was TJ. Like TJ Hooker. Sleepaway Camp. See, I thought it might have been in theaters like as a redo. You know, they put older movies in theaters. So that's why I thought he was reviewing it. I have never seen Sleepaway Camp. It's from 1983. And let me look at the numbers. Yeah, it had a budget of $350,000, but it earned back then $11 million. So it was a big hit movie. And I used to watch these horror movies all the time on cable and HBO and Showtime. And somehow I never saw Sleepaway Camp. Now I got to go back and look at it based on JT's glowing review. All right. And that was released back in 83. All right. One more performance for you. When I did the Thanksgiving Day Parade Pod Blast, the Thanksgiving Pod Blast, if you will, not the Al Hardy birthday tribute, but the one I did a couple days before that, I played some clips of Olivia Newton-John. Since I give away some Grease cards, I got to bring it home. There's one other performance I wanted to play from her stint on Donnie Marie, the season 4 premiere from before you were born, CJ, from 1978. Oh, somebody replied. Okay, my text. From September 22nd, 1978. That was a Friday night. And here she is performing one of the songs from Grease. I've not featured this yet on the channel. I'm going to try to play this. It's 3 minutes long. It's kind of a slow, sappy song, but it's a classic. And I can't believe Olivia Newton-John is no longer on this earth. She's been gone for a while now. I saw her in concert, met her. She was such a sweet person and just a great singer. And let's just listen to this song. You know, don't. I know a lot of people like Danny, my friend of the show, Danny Cochran, would say, because he likes heavy metal, he would say, "You sissy, why are you playing this?" But I like this performance. And John Farber, he wrote the lyrics. It was a great hit song, "Hopelessly Devoted to You," on the Donnie Marie Show. I'm going to watch Olivia Newton-John as I remember her fondly.
Olivia Newton, hyphenated John. smile is not the first heartbroken. My eyes are not the first to cry. I'm not the first to know. There's just no getting over you. You know I'm just a fool who's willing to sit around and wait for you. But baby, can't you see there's nothing else for me to do? I'm hopelessly devoted to you. But now there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head, hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you. My head is saying, fool, forget him. My heart is saying, don't let go. Hold on to the end. That's what I intend to do. I'm hopelessly devoted to you. But now there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head, hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you.
The stream stayed up. It stayed up. That was a risk because I thought it was a slightly different version recorded just for the Donnie Marie show that the bots wouldn't recognize. And that's like a big hit song. Did I get away with that? I think I hear it in the monitor. Wow. Cool. That was Olivia Newton-John, the late great Olivia Newton-John. And yeah, CRJ said, I love this song. I do too. And I haven't given away this card yet. It's what they call the rookie card. This is the Grease rookie card. Look. This is card number 1. I have several of these, but I know this with the Star Wars rookie card. It's a card showing Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker in the Stormtrooper outfit, but without the mask. Like after they've been in the trash compactor scene, if you know the original Star Wars movie from '77, that's card 1 on the blue series for Star Wars, the Topps cards. There are 5 series of the Star Wars Topps cards. Well, there's 2 series of Grease. There's a pink border and a green border. And they keep going numbering. They number them after from series to series, right? So that's card number 1. They call that a rookie card, just like in sports, which is silly. That never was the case before with these movie and TV show cards, where they referred to the first card as a rookie card. Someone out there in the business just started that, and it's made this card a little more valuable and desired by collectors. But I mean, hell, you could get like the whole series not too long ago. Well, see, time keeps passing me by. I guess it was 20 years ago by now. I can't believe it. But you could get like a whole set of Grease cards and the stickers for a really reasonable price. But these are all doubles I have. I have both of the complete sets and their stickers in there. So that's why I'm giving these away. And I mail 5 at a time. I can put 5 in an envelope, 5 cards of whatever the cards are of, whatever movie or TV show, with a stamp, 1 stamp, and I fold it into a piece of paper, a little handwritten, thanks for playing trivia note that I mail out. And that's what you're going to get, CRJ and Mr. Gutfeld. Mr. Gutfeld's gotten several, at least twice. I think I've mailed him cards 2 or 3 times. So, so I'll mail yours out on Monday. I'll mail yours out, CRJ. Just email me that address you want them sent to at goldr3@aol.com. Okay, I think I'm going to say goodnight now. We've gone 3 hours and 10 minutes. I appreciate everyone being here. Hope you have a great holiday season. Let me just find something to, I always leave something out. And I'm like, man, I went 3 hours and I forgot to mention this or I forgot to mention that. So I'm just going to do a quick scan and make sure that I didn't leave anything out, as they say in Canada. Let's see. Yes, talked about Tom. I'm just I'm just going through. Oh, I didn't show that one. Rest in peace, Mr. Chuck Woolery. I talked about RetroZest. There's his new, that's retrozest.com. If you want to listen, it's 2 hours long to his latest edition, the 150th RetroZest podcast, audio only. But it's really good. I mean, the production value is incredible. All right. And I think that's everything. So we'll make sure I didn't leave anything out. I already talked about a fake rant of the week. That's what it was. Damn. Did forget one little, let's do a mini segment of the fake rant of the week. So I got to play the accompanying intro or part of it, which is somewhere here. I'm messing up bad tonight. Real bad. Here it is. It's time for the fake rant of the week.
You want to fight? I'll give you a fight. Come on, punk. Come on. You want some more?
Well, my rant is about StreamYard. They made good on one thing. This should be and looks to be in HD. When they renewed me, as most people know that use StreamYard, there was a dramatic increase because this Italian company bought StreamYard in April of 2024. At least that's when it was announced. It's called Bending Spoons. They're in Milan, Italy. And I mean, they went from like 10 a month, as Keebs knows, to I think 40 a month or something. I mean, it was a ridiculous increase and they just don't care. And there used to be a phone number. You could reach someone on the phone and you can't reach anyone on the phone anymore. And here's the deal. I signed up a year ago with StreamYard to have, they promised a lifetime discount. If you stay with us, it'll be X amount, like $200 a year is what they charge me for this package, as long as you stay with us. Well, that became null and void when these new people bought StreamYard. I renewed, I did, with the promise it would become 1080p, HD, and some other tweaks where they made it worth the increase. Well, I did 2 shows last week, not in HD. So it turns out there was something I needed to do. They explained to me. So I I'm not going to go so far as to apologize about my rant, but I still think the increase was way too high. And next year, I think I'm going to go with Restream because they're out of Houston, Texas. They're out of Texas State, I think Houston. And I'm going to go with the American company instead of an Italian company. You know what I've decided? I think it's the mob. I think the Italian mafia bought StreamYard. They're doing mafia tactics. Oh yeah, you don't want the increase and don't use the service. We'll replace you, no problem. There's another sucker born every minute. That seems to be the mentality. I'm serious. I wonder if the mafia bought StreamYard, that Italian company. I'm just saying. You never know. So that's my rant. And then I had another rant too. I'm going to get to my script so I remember. Now it just says StreamYard Mafia, Bending Spoons, Milan, Italy. Okay. I thought I had another one. God, my music video of the week. I don't think I can do that. All right. What do you guys want to hear on the Pod Blast? Oh, there's Retro Zest podcast. What would you like me to talk about next time? I already have some topics and some guests that I've booked, but I want to know from you in the chat or in the replay crew. Leave a comment. What's nostalgic to you? Obviously, I'm going to talk about the holidays. Oh, and I promised to talk about holiday foods that are no more. That was right. The nostalgic treat of the week. I didn't get to that yet. Thank gosh I remembered the last minute. At the very beginning of this stream, if you watch the very beginning, I played some classic commercials, holiday theme for the most part, commercials, and they featured a candy. I had two candy commercials, Lifesavers. And this is a semi-rant. Remember the Lifesavers storybook that you'd get in your stocking, those that celebrate Christmas out there in Pod Blast land and the Podians. Well, now I talked about this last year. Now it's all 5 flavors. You used to have the wild cherry, the butter rum, the peppermint, the wintergreen, and then the tropical fruit, right? When we were younger, Gen Xers and even millennials, remember that. And now it's just the 5 flavors, and you only get one side filled with candy, not both. So not only have they eliminated your choice at the Lifesavers company, but now you get less than half the product, because they would give you more rolls per side. They shrunk it by 1 and only on one side. So that's something I consider to be a thing of the past, because they still have it, but it's not the same. I mean, you don't have the variety, and I just don't like that. Keebler said to my rant about StreamYard, because there's way too many streaming sites that are just like StreamYard. I agree. Very cool. CRJ said, hey, Chance, find Harold and I on Tuesday and Thursday while Mogs and Stevie are out. I will on the OCST channel. I'm sure I subscribe to it, but if not, I'll correct that as soon as I'm off of here tonight. Keebs, do your thing, please, for OCST channel. Please link that up so I can, on the replay, verify that I am subscribed. I think I am. I mean, I just want to make sure, because sometimes you'll subscribe to a channel and then it'll be unsubscribed and you didn't do it. Like there's a glitch or something where you think you're subscribed, you know you are, you didn't unsubscribe, and all of a sudden you're not. I don't know what that's all about. That's something that I hope Google will rectify. Let's see here. It's been posted. Okay, good. Then I'll go back and I will make sure I'll verify that I am subscribed to you guys, and I will check out your content. I appreciate you being here. Have a great weekend. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you, Keebs. Thanks to everyone who joined, and thanks especially to Tracy's Fractured History More and My Flock is Everywhere, Sarah in Southern California, for buying the super stickers. I really appreciate that, making that contribution to the channel. That's awesome, because I am monetized and I have a copyright strike that's going to go away in just like a week or two because of those Invaders clips. Anyone that's a regular watcher won't get into it in too much depth here, but I played 3 clips from the Invaders, scenes with Gene Hackman, that were approved on my other channel, Chance Acting Demo. But when I ran them live, the stream went down like more than 3 times, and then they killed the stream, and I got a strike for that. So, but it's going to go away in early January. So I'm excited about that. Meanwhile, please check out my videos of the Space Giants. If you're not into live action Japanese stuff, if you think that's just too primitive, too kid stuff, too not your thing, I'm going to post another 2 Fall Guy episodes that are not currently running in syndication, that are not on Heroes and Icons, at least in the first cycle. I'm going to monitor the second cycle there towards the middle of season 3. There's 5 seasons of Fall Guy, and they skipped 1 episode of season 4, which I've uploaded, and the rest were season 5 episodes, including the season 5 premiere and aired order because of Elvis songs that were in that. It was a music rights issue. Where Colt goes after an Elvis impersonator who's also an expert at forging wills, and he's gone straight. But these thugs are after him. Oh, come on, one more. Won't you just you gotta sign this rigged will for us, and he's pressuring this guy. It was someone who was like his cellmate in prison that is after him to do another score, and he wants to be just to go straight and to be just a straight up Elvis impersonator and singer. They skipped that one. And then It doesn't matter. It's too much detail, but I have put all but 2 of the skipped episodes on my channel. And one is really key. It's a season 5 episode where it's revealed Colt Seavers has a son, and his real life son named Lee Majors II plays this character. And that never aired. I don't know why. I don't think it's a music issue. I have no idea. That is a key episode if you care about the characterization of the character of Colt Seavers, where his son is introduced. And it's called In His Shadow. So I have that one and another one yet to upload to the Nostalgic Pod Blast YouTube channel. So if you don't care about these live streams or live shows, I'm going to keep putting new content that I can share with you from my collection. I have so many videos and films, things nobody has. Even in the Space Giants, I'm putting trailers out there that up until now no one had. And that Fall Guy spinoff I just uploaded yesterday, Trauma Center. Now anyone can copy it. That's the thing. I'm not trying to be greedy with my stuff. It's been in my collection privately for decades, right? And I figured it's time to share it with other collectors and other fans of the show. Now that it's running again, I want new audiences that watch that silly Glenn A. Larson action show starring Lee Majors that appreciate it like I do for what it is. I want them to have the opportunity to see the entire series. So that's why I'm uploading those. All right, let me just do a quick sweep. Oh, I did forget one other 52-second funny clip from Chad Moshior's YouTube channel. He's a game show junkie. He actually worked on game shows. He was a contestant on Wheel of Fortune, but he uploaded a clip from Chuck Woolery on Scrabble where the set flies away. It's 52 seconds long. It's not long. Thank gosh I noticed before I wrapped. Let's watch this.
For the game, please has to be. You just got to let me pull both of them up there. Gene, you knew it, didn't you? Yeah. Now, Gene was shaking his head going, I got to know this one. Gene's got a rubber boat, and he's got some nice parting gifts. And see you, Gene. Real nice seeing you. Okay, wait a minute. Don't take them away yet. Hold it. Come on back. Come on back. Come on. Okay, I'll just direct traffic out here. Come on back. Here we go. Hey, Gene. Been a lot of fun, Gene. Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah, they'll get rid of you, boy. Just, watch it. Well, anyway, it's nice having you with us. Get close over here. Come on down, Denise. She's got 500 plus 500, 1,000. We're going to walk over here and get ready for Scrabble Sprint. Big money coming up. We'll be back to play Scrabble Sprint in just a minute. Watch.
Not laugh out loud funny, but just kind of amusing how the stagehands took the contestant away prematurely there. Trying to decide what I want to end the show with here. End the stream with here. Oh, should I? No, not that. No, not that. Oh, by the way, I'm going to start doing another edition very soon of Every Issue Ever Made, where I show every single cover of a comic book title, where I have every issue that has 200 issues or less. Next one will be Marvel Team Up featuring Spider-Man. There's 150 issues of that book. It became Web of Spider-Man in 1984, but I'm going to feature Marvel Team Up, which started in 1972 and lasted until 1984. 150 issues. That'll be next. I don't know when. I got a photograph. I actually take pictures of the comic books. So I'll do that maybe after the holidays, maybe before the holidays end. I don't know. Okay. Well, have a good one, everybody. And hey, I'm excited about the new Superman movie. Here's a Superman 1978 Lunchbox, Christopher Reeve. And Superman and Lois just ended its 4-season run on the CW. And I thought they did a really good job with the finale. Oh, I have to do my shout outs. Check out Superman homepage live. It's Monday nights from 10:30 to 11:30 Monday night Eastern time. So that's 7:30 Pacific time. Check out everybody that's been linked up in the chat. BK on the air with Barry King and Alan Sanders, 10 a.m. to noon, Saturdays only, Eastern time. Go to the WBHF app, I was going to say, but it's WBHFradio.org is the website. You can stream it there too if you don't want to fool with an app. But they have a free app that's pretty good. James Enstall, Geek to Me Radio. He's on every Sunday night from 10 o'clock until 11 o'clock. It's a radio show on a big station in St. Louis, Missouri. He has good guests, good conversation, movie reviews from time to time. And Geek to Me Radio is that YouTube channel. And most weeks they will have a live video camera feed of the radio show. And KTRS St. Louis, so that's 10 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock Central and Mountain time, and 7 o'clock Pacific time, Sunday nights, 1 hour show. Just like Superman Homepage, didn't mention that. They're 1 hour hard stop, just 1 hour, that's it. Golden Rage of TV, Pat McCormack has a good YouTube channel if you like classic television and some of his original music. He's a guitar player, and he did a cool version of the Alfred Hitchcock theme. I like that. God, I don't want to forget anybody. Let me get to my list. Retro Zest talked about Curtis Lanclow and his, and it's been linked up by Keebs. I saw that. Excuse me. Dave Sundstrom is going to do a show about Christmas commercials with Barry King of BK in the Air, and Thrash Pondo Ponds. Forgot to mention him. Bob, I like him. He's on Sunday night doing trivia for about an hour from 7:30 until 8:30 Eastern time Sunday nights, and he does other stuff too every other week. And then Tug, the Unapologetic Geek, he's on a lot. I think he's on Sunday morning primarily Eastern time around noon. Actually, you know what? I think he's on at 1 o'clock Eastern time in the afternoon on Sundays, talking pop culture, talking movies. It's a very slick channel. He has a lot of good video presentation there. High production value like that. If you like, channels and programming with substance, he's your guy. And Dave Sundstrom, that's where you'd find, I think it's Monday night. I know my call time. I'm working on, I do acting work on the side, and I just got notice from casting. It's been moved up. So I probably won't be able to see that. I'll catch the replay on that. The Dave Sundstrom Monday night stream about classic holiday commercials, Christmas commercials and the like, whatever. So that should be fun. Bob will be on there, Thrash Pondo Ponds, Pat McCormack, Barry King, and yeah, that's all. And Dave Sundstrom, that's the fourth person. Okay. And I like, I never mentioned this one lately. It's been a while. I like these guys, Man Cave 101. They're live Thursday night. Oh, and VHS Club. It's two married ladies, not married to each other, but they're married. They're just married. Two nice ladies, I think in Michigan, and they review movies on VHS, and they're on Thursday nights, most Thursday nights, reviewing a classic movie. It could be a movie from the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. But as long as it was released on VHS, and it's kind of a niche thing. They're kind of a new show that I just discovered. And K-Pop Junkie out of Michigan, she's a comic book fan, comic book art fan, and she goes live all the time. K-pop. And it's she's in Michigan State. She does a great job too. That's it. I just can't tear myself away. All right. Well, I won't go. I just want to make sure I didn't leave anybody out. I hate that when I sign off and it's like, I didn't mention James Enstall, Geek to Me Radio, St. Louis, Missouri. How could I not mention that? How could I forget? Okay. I'm just scanning. Oh, and StreamYard just emailed me. How would you rate the support you received? That'll be fun to fill out. Actually, the technical side about the 1080, they got back to me really quickly as to why. I said, why are my streams 720 and not 1080 full HD when you promised that for the upgrade? So that's been handled. Apparently it was an adjustment I had to make. So I'll review and make sure that did happen. Happy holidays, everybody. Oh, 10 comments came in. Let me see. VHS Club. Thank you. They are really nice. And are you doing tomorrow night? Oh yeah. Brainbender's banner. How could I forget? Of course. Thank you, Keebs in Texas State. This show, Brainbender's Banter, she sent me this sticker. That's Chrissy. She has almost 100,000 subscribers. And we do just a round table pop culture chat. We're talking about holiday movies, Christmas movies, treats, that sort of thing. She comes up with some questions and asks the panel. I'll be on there along with Sarah. Sometimes Sarah's on, and sometimes she's not. TD Comedy Channel's on there. She's really funny. Shane B. Sick 2210 Productions on YouTube is on there. And we're going to have a special guest, a featured channel, someone who's really, really nice, who's helped Keebler out tremendously. I don't want to spoil it, but he's a great, great person. I can't wait. Unique Prepping is his YouTube channel, and a really great guy. And he's going to be on there. I think he said he confirmed he would be on there as well. And then the guy from South Carolina, Danny Staten, right from South Carolina, he's on there too. I just don't want to leave anyone out. So it's just a little party. We try to keep it to 2 hours or less. I'm one of the co-hosts along with Sarah. It's Chrissy's channel, but I simul stream it on my platforms as well. I need to put it on the audio. I've never really put it on the audio because I just didn't think it was, I can't say that on the air. I just thought it wouldn't be audio friendly, and I struggle with that myself ever since I introduced StreamYard. I think like these comic book videos, I can't do audio. It's not listenable, where you're talking about a comic book cover and you can't see it. Who cares to listen to that? So anyway, all right, good night, everybody. I'm going to play a final video as we play ourselves out. Let's look at this one, though, before I sign off. 22 seconds long. Here's a good holiday memory. Love it. Love it. Love it. Happy holidays, everybody. Let me find something different. Something holiday themed. What can I do? What can I do? Can't find it. I had a song for you guys and gals. Well, heck, I'll just play. I already played Herb Albert. I can't play that. That's the problem, is I played what I was going to end with. I don't want to just end with the regular theme. I want to end with something else. We've gone 3 hours, 31 minutes. I gotta go. I got to go. I play Scrabble with my mom once a week, going full circle with the Scrabble game show hosted by Chuck Woolery. So that'll be fun. It's fun. Do you like board games? What's your favorite board game? Do you play board games anymore? Clark Jingle. All right, let me see what I can end with. I wanted something holiday. I may have to end with something that is not holiday themed. That's okay, because someone could be listening to this in the summertime, or watching in the summertime after the fact. So let me find something. I'll just end with this. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks again to My Flock is Everywhere and Tracy's Fractured History and More for your contributions. Much appreciated. Good night.